Chapter 994. Why and why? At this moment, even the Maple King was shocked. King Hua was rebelling. King Hua sneered. You can even rely on the second king. I'm only cooperating with the land of rebirth. Compared to you being a dog, I'm still better than you. Are the second king stronger than the land of rebirth? Ha ha ha. King Hua laughed. Were the second king strong? Perhaps. A single king might not be weaker than Zhang Tao. But what about the second king now? Out of 15 true god subordinates, 5 were killed in the blink of an eye. The second king did not even have the chance to show his strength before he was killed by the lunatic Moon Spirit. Moon Spirit was truly a lunatic. The reason why she was called a lunatic was that Moon Spirit had suddenly gone crazy. She was impatient and impatient. Go away, you 2 dogs. I'll spare your lives today. I'm still short of 4 heads. If you dare stop me again. Before Moon Spirit finished her sentence, she suddenly went crazy and turned blood red. Her white dress turned scarlet in the blink of an eye. Kill! Moon Spirit shouted. Like a lunatic, she slashed through the void with her sword and saber, forcing the second king to retreat. The second king was about to explode. We stopped you? You killed 2 of our true god subordinates the moment you arrived. Did you think it was easy to revive these true gods all these years? Yet, this woman killed as soon as she arrived and scolded them as if they were her servants. Both of them had the combat power of a heavenly king if they joined forces. Even the emperors of the past were extremely courteous when they saw the heavenly kings. Moon Spirit, who did she think she was? Now, she was accusing them of stopping her. The second king was so angry that he wanted to vomit blood. This woman was getting crazier. A lunatic heavenly king, Moon Spirit's ability was not heavenly king, but with 2 artifacts, she definitely had the ability of a heavenly king, similar to the second king. When the second king joined forces, they had such ability. However, they were not alone. They might not be able to defeat a heavenly king. It was the same for Moon Spirit. Artifacts were external objects. She might not win against a heavenly king. In this way, both sides were equally matched. Although they were evenly matched, Moon Spirit was still arrogant. She shouted, Qing Tong, come here and kill their dogs for me. Not far away, Sovereign Qing Tong wore a bitter expression. Moon Spirit, how dare you? Moon Spirit shouted angrily and said coldly, How dare you call me by my name? Before the heaven realm was destroyed, you were just an ordinary venerable sovereign. How dare you bully me? Sovereign Qing Tong wanted to curse. Who bullied you? Your man is dead, and now he's calling you his imperial concubine? If he were to shout, it would be even more troublesome. Your father is dead, and now he's calling you a princess? That would be an even more miserable death. This woman was a complete lunatic. The heavenly realm was destroyed, and her family was destroyed. She escaped with a few maidservants and established Mount Wangu. In reality, Mount Wangu was just a temporary residence for this woman. In the end, after he created Mount Wangu, he did nothing but search for the ruins of the heaven realm all year round. Because of this, even the heavenly cat and the heavenly dog did not dare to go to Mount Wangu. The heavenly cat and the heavenly dog were the only 2 known fellows who walked out of the heavenly realm after it was destroyed. Moon Spirit did not know whether the heavenly hound was in the heaven realm back then. She did not know whether the heavenly cat was in the heaven realm or not. But these 2 fellows were still alive. She felt that they knew, so she often went to look for them. But the cat and the dog ran away when they saw her. Moon Spirit blocked the gate of Quokang Mountain several times, but the heavenly cat refused to go out. The heavenly cat hid, and Moon Spirit could not find it. After a few times, she finally gave up. Coincidentally, someone saw the prince at that time, so the heavenly cat escaped. Sovereign Qing Tong was speechless. Moon Spirit was even angrier. You also bully me. How dare you? I spared your life in the past, but now I want you to kill some trash, and you dare to evade me. Sovereign Qing Tong did not say a word. I didn't even say a word. How could I bully you? Why was this woman even crazier than before? Kill these dogs quickly, and I will repay you for saving my life. Hearing this, Qing Tong sighed softly. Without saying anything, he quickly rushed towards Sovereign Green Lotus. During the war between the North and the South, it was indeed Moon Spirit who saved him, saving his life. It was worth it to kill a few true gods to repay it. Seeing this, the two kings' eyes turned red. Green Lotus and a true god attacked. Although Green Lotus was not weak, not everyone at emperor level could kill a true god in the blink of an eye like Moon Spirit and King Wu. 8 true gods besieged Green Lotus, but it was Green Lotus who retreated. The remaining 2 also killed the true god of Wang Wu until he bled. The 10 powerhouses had fought on the battlefield, and the maidservants of Wang Wu could not compare to them. Green Lotus had gone far on the path, and old Zhang once mistook her for the master of Mount Wang Wu. Her ranking was still above Gong Zhuanzi. Otherwise, 8 true gods were enough to kill this emperor level. However, if Qing Tong, the leader of the southern sect, was included, Green Lotus could not be compared to him. At this moment, the Destiny Monarch was really angry. Stop him! The Destiny Monarch shouted angrily, stopping Qing Tong. Otherwise, the people they brought out today would be in trouble. At this moment, King Feng glanced at Fang Ping, his eyes gloomy, but he did not make a move. He could kill Fang Ping, but Fang Ping had no one to protect him now. But if he killed Fang Ping, that crazy woman, King Feng glanced at Moon Spirit, who had killed the 2 kings, and without saying a word, he ran to fight Qing Tong. He would rather fight Qing Tong. That woman was really crazy. At the same time, on the side of the catacombs, more than 10 true king powerhouses leaped into the sky, heading straight for Qing Tong. They were the hidden pawns of the 2 kings all these years. If the 15 true gods from before were added, there would be a total of more than 30 true god powerhouses. In addition to the strength of the 2 kings that were comparable to the 8 kings, it was not impossible to rebuild the heavenly court. But who would have thought that such an unforeseen event would happen? Godland! Li Zhu sighed softly. There were only about 100 true kings, and now that so many people had left, the people of the 2 kings had also been counted. On the side of Godland, there were only about 100 true kings left. Moreover, they were somewhat at a loss and helpless. They were a little confused. Was this still Godland? The 4 kings had become sieves. The people of the 2 kings and the martial kings had taken away more than 20 people in a short while. The key was among the remaining people. Were there still any? This turn of events was out of everyone's expectations. Li Zhu took a look and sneered. He said calmly, "In that case, it's about time. The situation of the 3 realms is about to change. King Zhen is standing behind King Fate, and many of the true kings in Godland are probably under their control. King Zhen." The right god general paused for a moment. "I thought it was King Sun, but it's actually King Zhen. Didn't you see Moon Spirit's attack and King Zhen's voice? King Zhen is on the same side as King Fate." Li Zhu pointed at Jiangshan. King Sun should be on the side of the Outer Seas Immortal Islands. Many of the Outer Seas Immortal Islands are working with him, or they might even be secretly groomed by him. King Kuan should be the so-called leader of the god religion. King Qian. King Qian is just a sh*T stick. He is in charge of balancing the various powers, and his role is similar to Heavenly King Zhen. We can't be sure if King Zhen is Heavenly King Zhen. However, King Zhen hasn't appeared yet, so he is either dead or Heavenly King Zhen. Qian, Kuan, Zhen, Sun, and King Zhen have all revealed themselves. Of the 4 kings of Kenli, Zhen, and Dui, at least 2 died back then, and at most 2 heavenly kings are left. Perhaps they are the supporters behind the land of domains and the realm beyond skies. But something is probably going to happen to the land of domains. Li Zhu smiled. In the domain, King Wu is out of control. Back then, he was schemed against by King Kuan, and both the north and south sects suffered heavy losses. This heavenly king might have fought with King Kuan back then, and it's hard to say if he's still alive. The one behind Sky Beyond Skies hasn't appeared yet, but something unexpected happened in Sky Beyond Skies, and the dragon transformation is out of control. 6 kings, 6 powers. Li Zhu smiled. This way, the situation of the 3 realms is clear. The 2 kings are considered a power. The demon monarch is also considered a power, and King Wu and Heavenly King Zhen are 1. They are 8 powers. The Right God General asked in a deep voice, "What about Brotherly?" "Me?" Li Zhu said softly. I am just an accident. You will know about some things sooner or later." The Right God General was silent. Sooner or later. Today, the kings were pawns, and they didn't even know how they died. Be it the land of rebirth or God land, it was the same. Zhang Tao had revealed some information about the land of rebirth, but he didn't say everything to keep the secret. On the other hand, God land was under the control of a few powerhouses, and they might not even have the right to know. The Right God General didn't ask anymore. Looking at the current situation, he said, "Even so, the land of rebirth must be destroyed." He could see that Zhang Tao couldn't hold on anymore. King Ming and the others were attacking crazily, and the Book of Great Tao was cracking. Zhang Tao was also spitting blood from the 6 powerhouses' attacks. Although many of the true kings of Godland had defected, they all had opponents. At this moment, the humans were still at a disadvantage, and they were fighting 1 against 2. Once Zhang Tao died, they would return to square 1. Not only that, but the venerable emperors in the domain and Sky Beyond Skies were also moving. This included the overseas immortal islands, which had the most emperors. If they were King Sun's men, and King Sun was fighting Heavenly King Zhen, then the overseas immortal islands were actually the humans' enemies. Yes, we must be destroyed. I want to see what King Wu can do. Did Zhang Tao still have a plan? At this moment, everyone was extremely wary of Zhang Tao, worried that he still had a backup plan. Zhang Tao felt bitter in his heart. How could he have a backup plan? If he could instigate dozens of true kings to defect, he would have killed the catacombs long ago. Why would he need to set up a trap? Moon Spirit's appearance was an accident. 8 true kings were not a force to be used now. This time, he was prepared for at least half of the humans to perish. His original plan was to retreat as he fought. When many of the humans had perished and many of the catacombs had been killed, the divine sect would definitely appear. That would not be the time for the 8 of them to attack. These 8 people were the last resort. Unexpectedly, Moon Spirit came. Seeing that the situation was good, he let them appear and kill some more people. But now he saw that many human powerhouses were filled with hope. The War King even looked like he was itching to get rid of everyone today. This made Zhang Tao feel extremely bitter. Idiot! If he was really that strong, why would he still need to fuse with the Tao? At this moment, he was already powerless. The 3 powerhouses of the catacombs were completely enraged. The Life King's combat strength was originally not as strong as the Emperor level, but at this moment, the Life King was slightly stronger than the other 5 emperors. And all of this originated from one Tao, Qi Huanyu's Tao. Zhang Tao realized that the Life King seemed to have taken Qi Huanyu's Tao for a long time. Most importantly, he seemed to be fusing with the Tao, not like Zhang Tao, but the great Tao that suppressing Heavenly King had mentioned. He had connected Qi Huanyu's Tao to his own Tao. Originally, the Life King had taken 2 Tao, and each Tao was less than 10,000 meters long. But after connecting the Tao, it seemed to be more than 10,000 meters long. Zhang Tao was thinking of a way out as he said with a smile, "Life King, you're ruthless." Suppressing Heavenly King said that connecting the Tao was as difficult as ascending to heaven, but you did it. What a surprise. King Wu, there's no need to struggle pointlessly. The Life King's face darkened. He said coldly, "There have been enough accidents today." "You think there will be more?" The Life King pierced his head with his spear. Next to him, the King of Myriad Beasts had already returned to his true form. He swept his tail and shattered Zhang Tao's golden body. Several venerable sovereigns were closing in. Zhang Tao was about to die. At this moment, the Life King suddenly said, "Are you thinking about the divine sect, or Li Zhu?" The Life King said coldly, "The divine sect has been here for a long time. You know that?" As soon as the Life King said this, another accident happened. Rumble! In the distance, the void collapsed. An illusory figure walked out of the darkness and almost killed everyone on Li Zhu's side with a palm strike. But at this moment, Li Zhu's side was unharmed. Li Zhu coughed lightly. Blood flowed out of his mouth. He said with a wry smile, "This is beyond my expectation. This king thought that everything was under control. I never thought that the 3 great sect protectors would actually come for this king." At this moment, 2 people walked out of the darkness. They were 2 men and 1 woman. They were all wearing special masks. Even though there were countless experts present, no one could see through their masks and see their faces clearly. As for their auras, they seemed to be a little turbid. One of them was wearing a mask with a cloud pattern, one was wearing a mountain mask, and the last one was wearing a baby-faced mask. The 3 guardians of heaven, earth, and man. I didn't expect them to come together. Li Zhu coughed up blood again. He smiled and said, "The 3 guardians really think highly of me." At this moment, the man wearing the cloud mask said in an ancient voice, "Li Zhu, are you still trying to hide it? We have already found out that you are not Li Zhu. The tree of life in your palace bore the fruit of life. A dead man has come back to life after eating the fruit of life. And this tree of life was planted by the earthly sovereign's projection. Who are you?" A dead man had come back to life. The tree of life. That day, Fang Ping pretended to be Feng Mieshing and entered the king battlefield. When King Feng returned, Li Zhu was watering a small tree in the palace. It was a mythical tree, but it was of little value. The tree of life. Legend had it that the demon emperor planted one in the past, and it bore the fruit of life. It was said that it had absorbed thousands of deaths. No one believed that someone would plant it again. But the tree in Li Zhu's palace bore the fruit of life. The man wearing the cloud mask was the celestial guardian of the 3 guardians of heaven, earth, and man. At this moment, he said in an icy voice, "You have entered the realm battlefield, haven't you? You have brought the tree of life with you, haven't you? You know very well what you've stolen. The only thing I am curious about now is before the fruit of life bore, how did you make Li Zhu listen to you? No, it might not be difficult." A mysterious powerhouse gave pointers to a young genius who rose from a mortal. Naturally, the young genius would listen to everything. Am I right or wrong? The young man went to the graveyard of the gods, entered the realm battlefield, raised the tree of life, and bore the fruit of life. Right? You, Li Zhu, who are you? At this moment, many people were shocked again. What was going on today? Powerhouses emerged one after another. The three people who appeared now gave them the feeling that none of them were weaker than Zhang Tao. What was more frightening was that when the celestial guardian attacked just now, he did not manage to kill Li Zhu's party. He had been blocked. Li Zhu was fake. A dead man came back to life. Who came back to life? The real Li Zhu had died a long time ago. At this moment, Li Zhu coughed slightly, blood spilling out of his mouth. He said with a smile, "The celestial guardian's guess is reasonable." The celestial guardian said calmly, "I'm afraid you came back to life more than 10 years ago. At that time, Li Zhu's origin would have collapsed and died. You replaced him. Am I right?" Three celestial guardians. You didn't come here just to tell me this, did you? I just want to confirm whether you are the Demon Emperor. The Demon Emperor? Li Zhu said with a smile. When did I become the Demon Emperor? The Demon Emperor is still alive, isn't he? You said I came back to life. How could I be the Demon Emperor? That's right. The Celestial Guardian said calmly, I don't think you are him. Then who are you? One of the 36 ancient saints, one of the 8 kings, or one of the 4 emperors, or the reincarnation of the 9 emperors? Rumble! As soon as the Celestial Guardian said this, some venerable sovereigns, unable to control their energy, lost their composure in the battle. The reincarnation of the 9 emperors? No, resurrection. True resurrection. Resurrection with memories. Because Li Zhu had consumed the legendary fruit of life, the fruit of life that could allow one to live another life. Only the earthly emperor's projection had the tree of life. Are you the reincarnation of the earthly emperor? There are many doubts about the earthly emperor's establishment of the divine dynasty. Li Zhu said with a smile, If so, your sect master is my son? Celestial Guardian, you can't talk nonsense. I am Li Zhu. When did I become someone else? If you are the earthly emperor, should King Kuan call me father? King Wu. Ha ha ha. Li Zhu laughed heartily. The Celestial Guardian wasn't angry. He said indifferently, Maybe the earthly emperor's projection really wanted to resurrect the earthly emperor. Maybe someone stole the fruit of victory. Li Zhu laughed again. Stole? What do you mean? The destruction of the earthly emperor divine dynasty was also your sect's doing. Didn't you spread the news that the earthly emperor was a projection? Didn't King Kuan plan such a great war and cause countless casualties just to become an emperor? Why are you trying to frame me now? The conversation between the two stirred up waves again and again. The divine sect was really the one who planned the war of the earthly emperor divine dynasty. They had their guesses, but some people knew that the divine sect was founded by King Kuan. The earthly emperor divine dynasty was also King Kuan's family business. Why did he leak the secret? Back then, when the earthly emperor divine dynasty existed, the 3 realms thought that there was a real emperor. However, King Kuan never showed up. Many people thought that he had died in that war. If the sect master was really King Kuan, it meant that King Kuan knew that the earthly emperor was fake from the beginning. That was why he didn't show up. In the end, he leaked the news and triggered a great war. Some of them didn't understand. At this moment, Fang Ping understood a little. The gate of projection. In that war, King Kuan might have done it for the gate of projection and the powerful great Tao. It was the same for the war between the North and the South. However, King Kuan's fruit of victory seemed to have been stolen. They didn't know about the war of the earthly emperor divine dynasty, but Li Zhu had long stolen the fruit of victory. He used those great Tao to nurture the fruit of life. The real Li Zhu revived the fake Li Zhu. Perhaps he was the mysterious grandpa in the eyes of the real Li Zhu. Li Zhu came from an ordinary family. He was a child from an ordinary family in the catacombs. He joined the army at a young age. from a soldier in a small city, he gradually became stronger. In the end, he joined the Tianji army and shone brilliantly. In the end, he even ascended to the throne, shocking everyone. In the catacombs, there was a clear hierarchy. It was difficult for a child from an ordinary family to reach that stage, no matter how talented he was. But Li Zhu did it. At this moment, Fang Ping understood a little. This guy also had a cheat. Maybe he was the current Li Zhu. The current Li Zhu was probably that old grandpa. He cultivated Li Zhu and made him strong so that he could enter the space battlefield and seize the great Tao. No, there are 4 true God powerhouses there. How could he seize the great Tao in the door? In fact, it was very easy to verify this. If there were still great Tao in the gate of all beings, it meant that the sect master had guessed wrong. But if there were none, then it was used to cultivate the fruit of life. Fang Ping didn't know if Li Zhu could steal the great Tao in the door under the noses of the 4 true gods. But the sect master could not have said it out of nowhere. There must be some basis. Just when Fang Ping was in shock, Li Zhu laughed again. 3 guardians, I'm a little surprised. Is Fate King a piece of trash worth your cooperation? Trash. At this moment, Fate King looked at him and said lightly, who are you relying on? The people you secretly subdued. Do you really think these people will rely on a living dead who doesn't even dare to show his strength? I'm the #1 person in Godland. I've always been. Whether King Qian is one of the 8 ancient kings or not, if he doesn't dare to show himself, I'm the #1 person. As for you, you're just a joke. All these years, I've revealed my strength in order to make people believe in me. How many people can you convince with just your glib tongue? After saying that, Fate King looked at the Sky Plant's royal court and smiled faintly. Red Moon, tell me, is Li Zhu worth your cooperation? After saying that, he looked at King Huai and smiled. King Huai, it's been hard on you all these years. If it wasn't for you, I'm afraid I would have been kept in the dark. King Huai smiled too. Back then, I almost died trying to prove my Tao. It was Brother Ji who saved me and spent a lot of heaven and earth treasures. I'll remember that. Li Zhu only thinks of plotting against the world. What a joke. All these years, the Sky Plant's royal court has been declining day by day. They've been fighting the land of rebirth nonstop. I still have some credit. As soon as he said that, some of the catacombs' real kings almost broke down. King Huai, what's going on? Li Zhu laughed too. He said in surprise, You are Jiming's man? Huaying, you've really surprised me. At this moment, King Maple said nothing. King Huai was a 3-way spy. He was not Li Zhu's man, but Fate King's. All these years, he had been fighting the land of rebirth. King Huai's contribution to the war between the Sky Plant's royal court and the land of rebirth could not go unnoticed. Everyone was dazzled by this series of changes. Even Zhang Tao was surprised. He looked at Fate King in shock. This man really had not been idle all these years. Also, that Li Zhu fellow had been tricked. Fate King said coldly, Some people always think that they've calculated everything. Marshal King, you're like this. Li Zhu is the same. I, Ji Ming, have been walking around God's continent for hundreds of years. How can you guys who have never traveled God's continent compare to me? Having said that, he roared, Kill. At this moment, the 3 great sect protectors attacked one after another. Not only them, in the darkness, there were auras coming again. Their targets, powerhouses from all sides. This change in the situation caught everyone off guard. Even Fang Ping was shocked. Fate King, they underestimated him. No, this should be the real Fate King. A fellow who could even tolerate Qi, Huan Yu, who made him a cuckold. A fellow who could disregard everything for the sake of Tao. A fellow who even groomed Ji Hong to become a true king. Did he not know how to plot at all? Fang Ping was a little confused. Fate King had joined forces with the divine sect. If that was the case, who could fight them? There were too many powerhouses in the divine sect. On Fate King's side, the 4 royal courts seemed to have secretly reached an agreement with him. At this moment, Celestial Demon King and Myriad Demon King did not panic. Obviously, they knew something about the situation. There were too many powerhouses in this alliance. Chapter 9, 95. With the appearance of the Divine Sect's 3 great sect masters, the situation changed again. Not just the 3 great sect masters. At this moment, true god auras were being emitted from all directions. At this moment, Li Zhu suddenly laughed out loud. King Wu, it seems like you and I are both their targets. I didn't expect that Fate King and Kuan King were planning to catch us all in one go. This was out of his expectations. He thought that Fate King and King Wu were secretly working together to catch the divine sect. But now, Li Zhu knew that he was wrong. It turned out that Fate King and Kuan King's target was not only King Wu, but also him. Zhang Tao also started coughing blood, but he was no longer pessimistic. Instead, he laughed heartily. Li Zhu, weren't you very proud of yourself? You thought that you were unparalleled in scheming, but it seems like you failed today. Yes, Li Zhu sighed. Then he looked at Fang Ping, who was hiding at the side, and sighed softly. That day, I should have killed you. It could be said that he was single-handedly created by Fang Ping. Before Fang Ping went to the imperial city, no one had suspected him. But ever since Fang Ping went there, he first caused a ruckus in the palace, then revealed the news to Ji Yao, Hua Yu, and the others. King Wu had secretly sent people to spread the news. After a while, he was almost a joke. That day when Fang Ping sneaked into the palace and killed Feng Yexing, he had actually sensed something. Unfortunately, at that time, in order to hide his strength, he did not expose it. Who would have thought that everything that happened next was completely out of his expectations? Since then, all parties had their eyes on him, including the divine sect. They had been testing him constantly. There were a few strange true god auras in Skyplant City flashing and disappearing. It must be the divine sect powerhouses who were secretly spying on him. When Fang Ping heard this, he grinned and said, King Li, we're all in the same boat now. Why do you have to say such hurtful words? We can only escape if we work together. Isn't that right? Fang Ping, Li Zhu ignored the 3 great sect masters' encirclement and said with a smile, I'm actually a little curious. Why do powerhouses always appear to protect you at the critical moment? When you were in the 7 southern regions, Tsang Mao appeared. Today, Wang Wu suddenly appeared too. These are all unexpected things. You have repeatedly turned danger into safety, not because of your own strength, but because of the protection of these outsiders. This king is indeed a little puzzled. Why is it that every time this happens, your existence is a variable? Who are you? Was it a coincidence? Maybe. However, some things might seem like a coincidence, but they might not be. At this moment, many powerhouses looked at Fang Ping from all directions. He looked at the weakest martial artist in the field. So many absolute peak and true monarchs had died, yet this fellow was still unharmed. Just now, he had reached a dead end. The Maple King wanted to kill him, and the 2 kings wanted to kill him. However, the moon spirit of Mount Wangu came. Fang Ping's ability to turn danger into safety was displayed to the fullest. As soon as Li Zhu finished his words, Tianhun, who was about to attack, stopped abruptly. He looked at Fang Ping and said flatly, Fang Ping, you Wang Jinyang Yao, Qingjun Li Hansong, this time you are all targets of the divine sect. At this moment, Li Zhu didn't seem surprised. Instead, he murmured, Is it really you 4? The 4 emperors of battle war, destruction, and hegemony, Fang Ping, and the other three revealed some of their characteristics. As for Fang Ping, it was a little complicated, but now that he thought about it, since the other three were the reincarnations of the four emperors, there was no reason for Heaven Reverse not to be here. Fang Ping was Heaven Reverse Emperor? As soon as Tianhun finished his words, King Sun's voice came from afar. I have been paying attention to them. Are they really the reincarnations of the four emperors? King Zhen said indifferently, Li Xuanxie and Zhang Tao know better than us, but it seems that King Kuan knows more than us. King Sun, since King Kuan's men have already made their move, I'm afraid it is true. The four emperors are really reincarnated, King Sun exclaimed. I thought they were either completely annihilated or still alive. I didn't expect them to be reincarnated. If that is the case, kill them. King Sun bellowed. The next moment, his voice reverberated in all directions. Go to Mount Royal Sea and capture the other three. Wu Ming, capture Fang Ping. Since King Kuan's men wanted to capture them, it meant that King Kuan must have found something. The reincarnations of the four emperors were found. At this moment, Zhang Tao's expression changed. Something unexpected happened again. Regarding Fang Ping and the other three, other than Fang Ping, the other three were extremely low profile. They did not make many moves and were always covered by Fang Ping. He was also helping to cover up and divert attention. He even secretly spread some news. Wang Jinyang and the others were just ordinary martial artists who had been reborn. The reincarnations of the four emperors were very important, including their divine weapons and even their Tao of origin. The Tao of origin that the four of them walked out from. Could it be the Tao of origin from their previous life? If he captured them, could he take their divine weapons and their Tao so that he could reach the top and become an existence like the extreme Tao Heavenly Emperor? These few years, Zhang Tao was not like how he looked on the surface. He did not care about the others. In the dark, he had made some arrangements, including the disappearance of their tracks after they entered the catacombs. These were all arranged by his men, but at this moment, it seemed like they were still discovered by the evil sect. Helplessness appeared in Zhang Tao's eyes. Fang Ping did not say anything, but the other three were probably exposed because of the Emperor's tomb. At the Emperor's tomb, Heavenly Emperor Zhan's heart appeared. Although he used Fang Ping to divert attention, there were many people who went that day and more or less noticed some clues. In addition to some previous rumors, it was not difficult for King Kuan to determine that these four were the reincarnations of the four emperors. Although Fang Ping and the others performed well back then, they had not reached the level of true God. At that time, they were not in the eyes of those big shots. But later, Fang Ping became more and more conspicuous. Some things could no longer be hidden. King Sun sent some people from the overseas Immortal Islands to Mount Royal Sea to let the Emperor from Nameless Mountain capture Fang Ping. The divine sect also wanted to capture these four, and even kill King Wu, Li Zhu, and the others. Tianhun purposely said that he wanted to capture Fang Ping and the others. It was not a slip of the tongue, but to divert the attention of the overseas Immortal Islands and beyond Avalon to humans. The reincarnations of the four emperors were more important than the divine sect. At this moment, Tianhun shouted, "The divine sect has no intention of becoming enemies with everyone. This time, we only came out to capture the reincarnations of the four emperors and kill Li Zhu, King Wu, and the others who provoked the divine sect." Li Zhu chuckled. Does anyone believe that? If those people from beyond Avalon and the overseas Immortal Islands believe that, then they are the real idiots. Zhang Tao also roared, "You fools, can't you see it? King Kuan and King Ming have joined hands. No, I should say King General, these two heavenly kings have joined hands to kill everyone. Are you really stupid, or are you pretending to be? The two heavenly kings had joined hands. Moreover, their subordinates were extremely powerful. King Jen and King Ming were in cahoots. They could even be said to be the secret supporters of the catacombs. King Kuan was in charge of the strongest and most mysterious sect, the divine sect. Now that these two parties had joined hands, once they attacked the other parties, would the other parties be able to resist? Li Zhu smiled faintly. It might not be two heavenly kings. Since King Sun has spoken, it might be three parties. King Sun was a supporter of the overseas immortal islands. If three parties joined hands, then this time, other than these three parties, everyone would definitely die, including Tianji and King Tianming. At this moment, the powerhouses from all sides were also thinking about it. There were King Sun's men in the overseas immortal islands, but it didn't mean that they were all under his command. There were 33 overseas immortal islands, all led by Emperor Realm powerhouses. King Sun didn't have the ability to control all of the overseas immortal islands. Most of them were actually idle forces. A few of the immortal islands were under King Sun's direct command. These heavenly kings had a few Emperor Realm powerhouses under their command. King Sun had a few, as the supporters of the catacombs, King Jen, King Ming, Sky Goblin King, and Myriad Goblin King. These Emperor Realm powerhouses could also be considered as powerhouses under King Sun's command. These few were also Emperor Realm powerhouses. Right now, it seemed that there was no heavenly king supporting the human realm powerhouses. However, there was probably someone secretly leading the attack of so many Emperor Realm powerhouses from the human realm. In this place, other than King Qian, who had just left, there might be another heavenly king here. No, King Kuan might also be in the dark. Layers upon layers of nets pressured the powerhouses who didn't know what was going on, making it difficult for them to breathe. At this moment, many people were at a loss. Where should they go? Originally, they came here to seize the supreme treasure. But now, the supreme treasure was still in Zhang Tao's hands. However, as various forces entered the battlefield, the situation had become so complicated that even the Emperor Realm powerhouses were at a loss. Who should they help? Who should they kill? There were many heavenly king powerhouses. King Qian, heaven-suppressing king, King Kuan, King Sun, King Jen, and perhaps another heavenly king powerhouse were in the dark. In addition, there were two kings and Moon Spirit. Just this alone meant that there were 8 powerhouses with the strength of a heavenly king. There were also many powerhouses with the strength of 36 saints. King Wu, the 3 sect protectors, and perhaps Li Zhu. Just now, when sect protector Tian attacked and failed to kill Li Zhu, it meant that this person probably had the strength of at least 36 saints. Not only that, what about Supreme Emperor Qin Tong of Weiyu Mountain? He didn't show too much strength, but as the leader of the southern faction, Supreme Emperor Qin Tong had fought with Moon's spirit many times. How could he only see this little strength? Back then, the masters of the 10 great grotto heavens and the masters of the 4 Brahma heavens, who were not far from the level of 36 saints, had not broken the limit and advanced to this level. At this moment, all the powerhouses had mixed feelings at this moment. At this moment, the true God powerhouses of the divine sect also appeared one after another. 10, 20, 30, a total of 30 true God powerhouses. King Kuan did not appear, but the 3 sect protectors appeared with 30 true gods. As for the emperor-level powerhouses, perhaps there were people from the divine sect among the emperor-level powerhouses. Among these 30 people, 27 of their targets were the humans. 3 of them, their target was Fang Ping. At the same time, the nameless emperor of the overseas immortal islands also looked at Fang Ping. Capture Fang Ping. This was what both the divine sect and King Sun wanted to do. Because of the appearance of the divine sect, Everyone seemed to have forgotten a very important person, a lunatic who had always felt that she was superior and looked down on everyone, a lunatic with a noble status that almost no one in the three realms could surpass. At least after the destruction of the heavenly realm, no one in the three realms had a higher status than her. An emperor's daughter and an emperor's daughter-in-law. Even in ancient times, Moon Spirit's status was extremely noble. At this moment, it seemed that she was provoked. She was ignored. Divine sect, King Kuan? King Kuan killed her husband? The divine sect could even be said to be a family with Mount Wangu if it was really established by King Kuan. At this moment, the smell of blood on Moon Spirit's body was so thick that it was frightening, but her voice was much more normal than before. She opened her mouth and said, "The three sect protectors of heaven, earth, and human. I think they are 3 of the 36 saints." Moon Spirit casually repelled the 2 kings with a slash and no longer paid attention to them. She was not afraid that they would ambush her. She turned directly, looked at the 3 of them, and said lightly, "Do you know me?" Behind her, the 2 kings looked at each other and frowned slightly, but they did not make a move. At this moment, the situation was changing. At this moment, there was no benefit in fighting this lunatic Moon Spirit to the death. Moon Spirit opened her mouth. The sect protector was silent for a while before saying, "Tianli greets the lady. Tianbai greets the lady. Tianhui greets the lady." At this moment, the 3 sect protectors all introduced themselves. There was a soft gasp from all directions. The 36 saints. They thought they were all dead. It was understandable that the 8 kings were not dead because the 8 kings were guarding the 4 directions. They might not be in the heavenly realm. However, the 36 saints could be regarded as the direct subordinates of the emperors, and their main task was to guard the heavenly realm. After the destruction of the heavenly realm, almost no one had heard of the 36 saints surviving over the years. But now, 3 of the 36 saints had gathered in the divine sect, and these 3 had become the sect protectors. At this moment, some ancient venerable sovereigns were also sure that the divine sect was founded by King Kuan. These 3 great sages, although the 36 sages did not clearly state which emperor they belonged to, had a good relationship with the earthly sovereign. Obviously, these people were also under the earthly sovereign's son, King Kuan, one of the 8 kings. "It's you." Moon Spirit did not seem surprised. She still said indifferently, "I haven't seen you for a long time. I just want to ask, how did you survive?" The 3 of them did not speak, as if they were unwilling to talk here. Moon Spirit suddenly laughed. It seemed to be the first time she had laughed since she came here. "King Kuan is not dead. The 3 of you are not dead, and the puppet of the earthly sovereign even showed up. Maybe the earthly sovereign is not dead." The 36 saints were on good terms with the 9 emperors. This meant that an emperor could probably command 4 sages on average, and the earthly sovereign's family had too many strong masters. This showed that the earthly sovereign's family might not have suffered many losses in the battle that destroyed the heaven realm. Maybe they had preserved the most strength. That didn't sound like a problem. But at this moment, many people felt the sky had turned cold. Some emperor-level experts even felt a little cold. Moon Spirit's tone was getting more and more normal. The 2 sons of the earthly sovereign could command 3 to 5 saints. But King Kuan is still alive, you are still alive, and even the 2 dogs that were his mounts are still alive, Tianji and the Lord of Destiny were livid, but at this moment, neither of them said a word. They felt that something big was going to happen. Only he died. Only he died. Moon Spirit seemed to be a little crazy. She murmured, "Why? Why didn't you losers die? Why? Tell me why? Why did the heaven realm disappear when I went to the king's mansion? to rest for a few days. He died. I'm still waiting for him in the king's mansion, waiting for him to come and take me home. Tell me, why didn't he come? He said he would go to the king's mansion to rest for a few days. When he's done with his work, he'll come and take me home. He promised. Why? Moon Spirit did not know who she was asking. She murmured, I waited and waited, waited until the heaven realm was destroyed, waited until the puppet dynasty was destroyed, waited until the battle of the North and South ended, waited until now, more than 7,000 years. Where did he go? More than 7,000 years. At this moment, Fong Ping suddenly felt an indescribable sympathy. Even if Moon Spirit was very strong, even if this woman was noble, even if she was crazy and domineering, she waited for a man for more than 7,000 years. Fong Ping could not imagine it. At this moment, a figure flashed in his mind. Chun Yunqi, if I died in the catacombs, if she was alive, would she be like this? Fong Ping's thoughts flashed. He dared not think about it. He did not want to think about it. After going crazy for more than 7,000 years, he would rather not suffer such torture. Why did he have to die? Moon Spirit's voice became shrill. There were not many deaths in the earthly emperor's family. Why did her man have to die? And he was the most outstanding one. Her husband was the most talented and had the best character among all the princes. Even the emperors said that her husband had the potential to be an emperor. That year, when the earthly emperor brought his son to the North Palace, she fell in love with him at first sight. Love at first sight. They had been in love for 1,000 years. She thought that everything would be fine, that everything would be the same as it had been for 1,000 years. However, this time when she went sightseeing, she was full of expectations. She imagined that her husband would come and take her home like before. What she waited for was shocking bad news. The heaven realm was gone. Her home was gone. Her husband was gone too. Her father was gone. The North Emperor saber flew to Mount Wangu and trembled for a few days. As for the earthly emperor's sword, it was given to her husband by the earthly emperor. Before they left, her husband gave it to her to protect herself and took away his own sword. Perhaps she should not have taken the earthly emperor's sword that year. Perhaps she had harmed her husband. Moon Spirit's eyes suddenly turned red. No, it was all their fault. These D***MN fellows, why did they not die? Weren't they supposed to protect her husband? Why did King Kuan not die? Where was King Kuan for the past 7,000 years? Why did he not dare to come and see her? Who was the husband that appeared that year? Was he really her husband? At this moment, the emperor weapon in Fong Ping's hand trembled. Then it fell into Moon Spirit's hand in the blink of an eye. Moon Spirit caressed it gently and said in a low voice, "No, he's alive. He won't leave my sword behind. This is my Moon Spirit's. My husband won't lose it." Moon Spirit murmured. At this moment, all the powerhouses who were fighting slowed down. Everyone felt a little nervous. So, husband is really dead. Dead. Rumble. The sky and earth changed color. At this moment, in the eyes of the three great sect protectors, a blood-red great path appeared. Blood red. My husband is dead. What's the use of you dogs? You actually want to capture and kill Fong Ping. You even want to take away my husband's remains. You have angered me. A shocking, murderous aura rose from the void. Moon Spirit stood on the blood-red great path and looked at the three great sect protectors. However, she did not directly attack them. Instead, the blood-red great path coiled. Under everyone's incredulous gaze, Moon Spirit's great path directly wrapped around the nameless, venerable emperor who had just arrived near Fong Ping. You want to take away my husband's remains? You deserve to die. No, you don't even deserve to die. You dog slave, I want you to live in pain for the rest of your life." Moon Spirit let out a mournful growl. The blood-red great path wrapped around the nameless venerable emperor like a long snake. The nameless venerable emperor roared angrily. "Moon Spirit, how dare you? Go to hell." At this moment, Moon Spirit's great path was really like a long snake. The front, like the head of a snake, swallowed the nameless venerable emperor in one bite. Under everyone's horrified gaze, the blood-red great path seemed to be chewing and swallowing. In the distance, King Sun roared angrily, "Moon Spirit, you bastard! How dare you kill my people?" Moon Spirit looked over and murmured, "You bullied me too. Husband, they are all bullying me. All bullying Ling. All bullying Ling. The last word was extremely shrill and shrill. Under the horrified gazes of the other venerable emperors, the bloody smell on Moon Spirit even dispersed the blood-red clouds and rain in the sky. Rumble! At this moment, a big hole seemed to be torn open between heaven and earth. In the sky, an energy sun appeared. The night actually turned into day. It was impossible to see the sun at night in the catacombs. However, at this moment, the sun appeared in a flash. Then, the sky fell and the earth cracked. Rumble! Huge cracks appeared, and a huge road appeared. Then, under everyone's dazzled eyes, this road was covered by a wisp of blood. Under the blood, Moon Spirit seemed to appear in it. Her figure was extremely huge, and she bit off this huge road with one bite. Crack! Everyone seemed to hear a cracking sound. No, a mournful roar came out. The illusory figure of the nameless venerable emperor flashed and disappeared. The next moment, it was completely covered by the blood. All of this happened too quickly. Almost in a few words, this venerable emperor from Nameless Mountain, this venerable emperor from the overseas immortal islands, became the first venerable emperor powerhouse to die today. Drip! The blood rain was almost like a fountain dripping down. Moon Spirit looked up at the sky, a smile on her face, and murmured, "Husband, these dog slaves all deserve to die. When Ling kills all these dog slaves, I'll take you home." At this moment, Zhao Xingwu appeared in front of Fang Ping, the fear in his eyes chilling. Old Zhao was a little scared. Did this old man do something shocking and troublesome? Remains. Where did the remains come from? This woman was too scary. At the thought of not having any remains, this woman went crazy, maybe even crazier than she was now. When a Heavenly King powerhouse went crazy without 2 or 3 Heavenly King powerhouses, could they stop her? Old Zhao looked at Fang Ping, his eyes flickering. "Fang Ping, you seem to be dying more miserably than this old man." The corner of Fang Ping's mouth twitched. At this moment, he seemed to understand something. The remains that Moon Spirit mentioned. Damn, I don't have them. Would it be useful to tell her about the space battlefield? I'm afraid that even the suppressing Heavenly King can't stop this woman. This was too crazy. She killed a venerable emperor in an instant. What was the strength of this woman? Just as Fang Ping and the others were worried. In the void in the distance, the Heavenly King's figure flashed and disappeared. At this moment, the 3 Heavenly King powerhouses did not fight. She really reached the Heavenly King realm with 2 divine weapons. The Heavenly King suddenly looked at the 2 of them and sighed softly. "Both of you, prepare to die." The 2 Heavenly Kings snorted coldly, cursing in their hearts. However, they were a little afraid. Moon Spirit had really broken through the Heavenly King realm of a true king. If the Heavenly King and Moon Spirit joined forces, the 2 of them looked at each other. This was a little troublesome. Chapter 996. Moon Spirit was terrifyingly powerful. At this moment, Moon Spirit was so dangerous that even Wang Wu's people didn't dare to get close. The 12 true gods who had just arrived saw, Moon Spirit's blood-red body. Without exception, they all stood in the distance and didn't dare to make a sound. They were true gods, but they were also servants. They were Moon Spirit's maids. Some of these people were maids from the Earth Palace, some from the North Palace, and some were brought by Moon Spirit herself. They were completely different from some of the true gods. Seeing Moon Spirit like this, these true gods all looked at the Archgreen Lotus. But the Archgreen Lotus didn't dare to speak at this moment. At this moment, she didn't fight with the 8 true gods anymore. The battle between Wang Wu and Moon Spirit had ended, so she didn't continue to fight. But in the next moment, Green Lotus was a little frightened. Moon Spirit looked at her abruptly before looking at the 12 real gods who had just arrived, as well as the other injured real god. She chuckled and said, "Go, slaughter King Kuan's men. If they don't die, all of you will." As soon as he finished speaking, he roared and charged toward the 3 sect protectors with one hand covering the sky. She wanted to destroy the god sect. These people were more hateful than Wang Wu. Wang Wu and the others weren't the earthly sovereign's subordinates, but King Kuan was the earthly sovereign's son, and the 3 Arch protectors were the 3 sages. These people must die. "Lady," the Arch protector Tian screamed. Moon Spirit didn't say a word. She held the 2 divine weapons and split into 2 again, attacking the 3 people. At this moment, the Archgreen Lotus and the others looked at each other. Then these women shouted and quickly attacked the true gods of the god sect. Li Zhu was dumbfounded by what he saw. Fate King was dumbfounded. Li Zhu's mouth twitched, and he took a few steps back. He couldn't afford to offend her. Moon Spirit was a madwoman. No one knew who she would attack next. From the moment she arrived, she attacked Wang Wu and the catacombs. Then she scolded Darch Qing Tong, King Qian, King Sun, and King General Now. She was even more powerful. She brought Wang Wu's people to kill the people of the god sect. The 3 sages came with 30 experts, not including the heavenly kings. Their strength was comparable to the catacombs. But now, before he could do anything, he had encountered a lunatic. "Qing Tong, get over here and help me keep someone occupied," Moon Spirit shouted. She wasn't polite to Sovereign Qing Tong at all. She wanted to kill these people by holding back a saint. Sovereign Qing Tong smiled bitterly. What a lunatic! If he didn't act now, he suspected that this lunatic would attack him in the next second. If it were a normal person, it would be impossible, but if it were a Moon Spirit, the probability was 100%. Qing Tong sighed helplessly. With a casual strike, he shattered the Maple Monarch's golden body. He took a step into the air, and to everyone's surprise, his aura skyrocketed. He chuckled and said, "Moon Spirit, leave Tianhui to me. I just broke through the realm not long ago, and I'm no match for the other 2. The heaven, earth, and human protectors were all ancient saints. Tianhui was the sect protector and the only female. She was also the weakest of the 3. Since Qing Tong had said this, it meant that he also had the strength of a sage. As the master of the second grotto heaven and the leader of the southern faction, it was not surprising that Qing Tong possessed such strength. In the blink of an eye, Qing Tong fought with the sect protector. The remaining 2 sect protectors shouted, "Lady, the second prince died, not because we didn't want to help. Before the heaven realm was destroyed, we were ordered to go to the Misery Sea. Before we returned, we found out that the heaven realm was destroyed. They thought that Moon Spirit was angry that they didn't save the second prince, so they hurried to explain. This lunatic was too strong. Even though the 2 sages had joined forces, they were forced to retreat by her 2 clones. Although they were not as strong as the 2 kings, they were in the same realm, so the gap between them wasn't too big. However, Moon Spirit was much stronger than the 2 kings just now. If this went on, even if Moon Spirit couldn't kill them in a short time, Their plan would be in vain. Orders? Yu Ling yelled. Whose orders? The orders of the earthly sovereign. I've never heard of anything important in the Misery Sea that requires the three sages' help. You deserve to die. The three sect protectors were extremely frustrated. What was the reason? This woman was really unreasonable. Li Shu looked at the few people fighting not far away, then at the people from the Divine Church who were entangled by Mount Wangu. He suddenly didn't know whether to laugh or cry. He looked at Life King and asked, amused, Jiming, what do you think? Life King's expression was worse than everyone else's. The Divine Church appeared and was extremely powerful. He thought that everything could be settled quickly. He didn't expect such a big mistake to happen, although he was infuriated, seeing that Zhang Tao couldn't take it anymore. Then, looking at the rest of the Land of Rebirth, Life King said coldly, although there's an accident, all of you still have to die. Before he finished speaking, the spear in Life King's hand swung, breaking the dead Tao book with a bang. Zhang Tao's 7 orifices were bleeding, looking slightly dispirited. Martial King, it's time to end this. Life King growled, raising his spear and pointing it at his head. At this moment, Fang Ping roared, Green bastard! You were cuckolded by your disciple, Qi Huanyu. You gave birth to Ji Hong, a bastard who's not even sure if he's a son or a grandson. You only won 6 against 1. Do you really think you're somebody? Even Qi Huanyu has more guts than you. At least he cuckolded you. Fang Ping's roar reverberated through the clouds. At this moment, the spear in Life King's hand trembled slightly. Zhang Tao took the opportunity to slap the spear away with his palm and took a step back. Life King tilted his head and looked at Fang Ping. His expression didn't change as he said lightly, Fang Ping, if you want to die so badly, then I'll fulfill your wish. Someone go and kill him. As soon as he finished speaking, the 3 true kings charged toward Fang Ping. Among them was King Huai. At this moment, the Wanwu bloodline was entangled. No one could protect Fang Ping. Zhang Tao had also fought to this point. At this moment, 6 venerable emperors surrounded him. There was no way out. As for Life King, the leader of the Destiny Royal Court, he was indeed outstanding. Although there were fluctuations, they were quickly suppressed. As for the powerhouses from all sides, some were surprised, some were mocking, but at this moment no one jeered. They were all top-notch powerhouses, and Life King was an emperor-level powerhouse. This matter could be said to be big, but it was also not worth mentioning. Even if it was true, the worst that could happen was that he would become a laughingstock in the future. Right now, no one would discuss this in front of Life King, lest he bore a grudge. They were not discussing, but the humans were bursting into laughter. War King sent a true king flying with a punch and laughed maniacally. Fang Ping, are you serious? As he said that, War King flew toward Fang Ping quickly, ready to rescue him. Of course, Fang Ping ignored Life King. In fact, he had already guessed it. Life King's tolerance was extraordinary. It was wishful thinking to expect him to kill Life King with words. Fang Ping was not doing this for Life King. At this moment, although Fang Ping saw the 3 true kings coming toward him, Zhao Xingwu, who was beside him, started to block his way. Fang Ping did not escape. He shouted, Ji Hong, I'm telling the truth. If I'm lying, may I be struck by lightning. Your father is not Life King, but Qi Huanyu. Otherwise, do you think Qi Huanyu would fight for the Ji family for the rest of his life if he knew that Life King had taken away his Tao? Do you really think he's an idiot? Life King knew all of this from the beginning. He purposely made your father kneel to his son, and even made you and your son suspect each other and kill each other. Ji Hong, I didn't kill Qi Huanyu. Before he died, he committed suicide. He wanted to become a king. He said that his life had been filled with grievances. Even if he died, he wanted to die as a king. It's not like he didn't know that forcefully achieving Tao would hurt Life King, but he still did it. Think about it. Is this considered revenge? Ji Hong, you're still working for Life King. How can you face your own father? Fong Ping was the kind of person who would spill everything. At this moment, Ji Hong, who was fighting with the human powerhouses, suddenly slowed down. He looked at Fong Ping. His expression was inscrutable, but his gaze was a little complicated. Qi Huanyu, his father, catacombs martial artists were heartless, but they were not born heartless. That was the general environment. He had only achieved Tao not long ago. He had not reached the level of people like Life King. He had long gotten used to all of this. Qi Huanyu, was he really like what Fong Ping said? Some things were better left unsaid. Once exposed, it was just a thin layer of window paper. Many things flashed in Ji Hong's mind. Qi Huanyu looked at him with a complicated gaze. He looked at Ji Yao with a complicated gaze. For the royal court, he had fought for many years and had never complained about it. Even though many people knew that his Tao had been taken away by someone else, a Life King, he was still conscientious and did not say anything. He was not a king, but he was a king. What a resounding title. This non-king level expert was even more famous than some of the true kings. However, at this moment, Ji Hong could not tell what he was feeling. Was it sadness or sorrow? Fong Ping did not care about Ji Hong. He did not have time to care. 3 great, true kings charged over. Zhao Xingwu had just advanced. Although he was not weak, he was no match for 3 great, true kings. Seeing that, Fong Ping let out a roar. His gaze was blank for a moment. He quickly charged into a true king's Tao. Uffed. One of the true kings vomited blood. Fong Ping did the same. At this moment, Life King suddenly shouted, "The divine weapon is in his hands. Fong Ping is the one who slashed Tao. Be careful. Kill him quickly." At this moment, everyone knew that it was not a powerhouse who attacked secretly. It was Fong Ping. Many people were shocked. How many true kings had this guy killed today? Until now, more than 50 true kings had been killed or injured. Zhang Tao, Moon Spirit, and the others were the main killers. Fong Ping could be considered as an assistant. He had also helped many human powerhouses kill their opponents. Without Fong Ping, there would not have been so many deaths today. And with the divine weapon in his hands, at this moment, a few venerable emperors who had not attacked were also ready to make a move. Snatch the divine weapon. Kill Fong Ping, snatch his divine weapon, or not kill him. They were worried that if they killed Fong Ping, Moon Spirit would take revenge. This woman seemed to have reached some agreement with Fong Ping, but it was still possible to snatch his divine weapon. Back then, even the 36 saints did not have a divine weapon. Maybe they did, but they would definitely hide it. These people were tempted. Some true gods were also tempted. Not Fong Ping, but Imperial Sea Mountain. At this moment, there seemed to be a battle at Imperial Sea Mountain. In addition, the divine sect said that the 3 ultimate path heavenly emperors were reincarnated there. At this moment, some true gods felt that there was no hope of getting the treasures here, so they set their sights there. Although King Sun sent people to Imperial Sea Mountain, there were continuous battles and venerable emperors fell, so people from the overseas immortal islands could not go there. However, the divine sect seemed to have sent true god powerhouses there. Over there, the humans did not have a true god overseeing things. They only needed to compete with the divine sect powerhouses there. At this time, seeing that all sides were fighting, some powerhouses from the overseas immortal islands, outland, and bounded boundaries were very tempted. To Imperial Sea Mountain, they sensed it. Fong Ping's mentality was not bad either. He sensed the battle coming from Imperial Sea Mountain. Looking at old Zhang's group, who were surrounded, he suddenly became anxious. He quickly transmitted his voice to old Zhang in the distance. Let old cat make a move. If this goes on, humans will be destroyed. No, Zhang Tao refused directly. While fleeing toward Li Zhu, he transmitted his voice. If we make a move now, they will slaughter us before going to search for treasures. We can't be idiots. Don't you understand that raising a tiger will bring disaster? But Fang Ping was really anxious. Imperial Sea Mountain was guarded by the endless centipede. How many people from the divine sect were there? Not to mention the number. Maybe one true god was enough to kill all of them. They could even enter the human world now and slaughter humans. This time, old Zhang was really fighting for a chance of survival. Not even a single defense force was left. Zhang Tao said weakly, "You and Zhao Xing will go. Break out. I will create an opportunity for you guys to go back and help. But you, I'm fine." After saying that, Zhang Tao's mentality became weaker and weaker. "I still have one last move. I will create an opportunity for you to break out later. We will also take the opportunity to escape to the Forbidden Sea. You go to Imperial Sea Mountain. Kill if you can, escape if you can't." Okay, Fang Ping did not have time to talk to Zhang Tao. Warlord was entangled. Maple King, the injured Maple King, was entangled with Warlord again. This time, it was not him alone. He brought a few true kings with him to besiege Warlord. Although the two kings did not attack, Maple King attacked. The two kings did not say anything, which meant that they had the same intention. Fang Ping became more and more anxious. At this point, if he did not break out, the others would attack. By then, humans would really be extinct. But what was old Zhang's last move? Li Zhu? At this moment, Fang Ping saw Zhang Tao running toward Li Zhu. He probably wanted to borrow Li Zhu's strength. But would it work? Li Zhu hadn't moved at all, except when he was defending against the divine protector and showing a small part of his power. At this moment, Fate King seemed to have forgotten about him. He did not send people to besiege Li Zhu. A saint-level powerhouse could not be killed by 3 to 5 true gods. Even 3 to 5 emperor-level powerhouses were not enough. That was why Fate King ignored him. If Zhang Tao went to Li Zhu now, was he not afraid that Li Zhu would kill him? In Li Zhu's eyes, humans might be more of a threat than Fate King and the others. Fang Ping was waiting for an opportunity to break out. At this moment, the battle had also broken out in Imperial Sea Mountain. In order to capture Wang Jinyang and the others, the divine sect mobilized 2 true god powerhouses. They thought highly of these people. Dozens of injured rank. 8 and 9 martial artists could be killed by one of them, let alone 2 true gods. At this moment, one of them was responsible for attacking. The other sealed the void, preventing these people from escaping. The ones fighting this true god were a few top-rank 9s. Wu Chuan, Wu Quishan, Li Changsheng, although there were many of them, they were injured earlier. Now that they were facing a true god, how could these rank 9s be a match for him? Sensing the difference in strength between them and the enemy, at this moment, Wang Jinyang took out his longbow and shouted, "What you want is the divine weapon. The divine weapon is right here. Let them go. I'll go with you. Otherwise, I'll seal the divine weapon in Sanjiao Gate and self-destruct. Do you really have the ability to snatch the divine weapon away?" When the true god saw the blood-colored longbow, his eyes lit up. He opened his hand to snatch it. However, in the blink of an eye, Wang Jinyang's vitality erupted. The divine weapon disappeared, showing signs of self-destruction. The true god frowned slightly. He glanced at Wu Chuan and the others who were already half dead and said lightly, "All right, give me the divine weapon, and I'll let them go." "Dream on." Wang Jinyang shouted coldly, "Do you think I'm an idiot like you? Let them leave first. or else don't even think about taking anything away." The true God frowned slightly and said lightly, "How would I know if you'll do the same thing after they leave? If you want to keep their lives, you can come with us." He was not prepared to let these human powerhouses go. If he took Wang Jinyang and the others away, they might not be able to get the divine weapon. Even if the sect leader had a way, it would also take a lot of effort. Then he would bring these people along with him. Since Wang Jinyang cared about these people, then it would be easy. Wang Jinyang glanced at him and said in a low voice, "If we fall into your hands, will our lives still be in our hands? Let them go, and I'll go with you. You don't have the capital to bargain." The long-haired true God said indifferently, "If you don't go, I'll kill them one by one, then destroy the human world. As for you, even if you self-destruct, the divine weapon won't disappear from the world. Unless you can destroy the divine weapon, it's not that the Sanjiao Gate can't be broken. It's just a matter of the price. The Sanjiao Gate could be broken. In the past, no one had done it because it was not worth it. Breaking a rank 9's Sanjiao Gate might cost a lot, but it was not worth it. However, if Wang Jinyang really died here, his Sanjiao Gate would also be hidden in the void of this place. It could be broken by paying a huge price. Wang Jinyang seemed to be hesitating about something, looking at Li Hansong and Yao Chengjun. One Yu, and he knew that it was not just one person who had been exposed, but all of them. That was within reason. If the three of them did not pay attention, then so be it. If they did, they would not be left out. What should we do? Li Hansong asked through voice transmission. The true God sensed it, but did not stop him. He also hoped to bring the people back alive. If they really self-destructed, the Sanjiao Gate might be broken, but what about the great path of a supreme emperor? These people had not walked their own paths yet. The feeling that the Wang Jinyang trio gave them was very obvious. There was no aura of origin, which meant that they were not rank 9. Although the trio's combat strength was extremely strong when they teamed up and used the divine weapon, they were not origin. In that case, it would be difficult to pry into their great paths. Only if they could capture them alive could they have a way to steal their great paths. We can only make a Hail Mary attempt. Wang Jinyang said through voice transmission. Remember what the cat said? If we walk the opposite path, we might become stronger quickly. We've all entered rank 9. With our strength and foundation, it might not be difficult to break through and walk a few hundred meters away. By then, our strength will increase tremendously. Ironhead will continue to be the tank defending against the true gods to prevent us from being killed instantly. Old Yao and I will attack and use the divine weapon to see if we can break the seal and escape from this place. Li Hansong was sweating profusely. How do we walk the opposite path? I have no idea. As for whether they had not reached the limit of rank 8 yet, it did not matter. At this juncture, who would care about this? Let's try Sanjiao Gate. Wang Jinyang said quickly. This time, we'll go forward with indomitable will. We don't have to worry about getting lost in the depths of Sanjiao Gate anymore. It's either we succeed or we die. Once we succeed, we'll have the strength to fight. When Li Hansong heard this, he did not hesitate anymore. He said quickly, "Okay, I'm just afraid that they won't give us time." While they were talking, the true god suddenly attacked. He was not targeting them, but Wu Chuan. Wu Chuan dodged quickly, vomiting blood. With a ferocious expression, he said, "Motherf asterisk cur. I'm the number 1 rank, 9. The more I go, the more miserable I become. Now, I've become a hostage." He, Wu Chuan, was ranked 9th among the rank 9 back then. In front of him, those who were not at the peak were Zhang Weiyu, Nan Yunyue, Zhao Xingwu, and Kong Lingyuan. The first 3 were now in the impasse realm. Kong Lingyuan was also only one step away. Only he was ranked lower and lower. This time, he vowed to become a peak. In the end, he was beaten out halfway. What did this mean? Now, the sky was raining blood. They could even hear some sounds. It was just something that happened 1,000 miles away. Many experts of the human race had perished. He, Wu Chuan, did not even qualify to participate in the war. 4 departments and 4 prefectures. Even Fang Ping, a rising star, was doing better than him. At least Fang Ping was still participating in the war. According to Wu Chuan's understanding of Fang Ping, even if Fang Ping did not have the strength of a peak, since he stayed, he might have a way to deal with those true gods. As for him, Wu Chuan, he was really miserable. He was so miserable that he was ignored and used as a hostage to blackmail a few juniors. Was he willing? He had never been willing. I'm not. Wu Chuan roared. Even if he was not at the peak now, he was still incomparably crazy. He slashed his sword, charging toward that true god. That person had a mocking smile on his face. A non-true god actually dared to attack him. Did he really think that he did not dare to kill? You're asking for death. The long-haired true god attacked, casually. Wu Chuan could not even dodge. Half of his body was blasted into powder directly. Useless. A true god can't even kill me in one move. You're really useless. You can only show off your might in front of us. Wu Chuan laughed loudly. He broke through the air quickly, charging toward him again. Even if he died, he would die with some dignity. It was either succeed or die trying, fighting with a true god, fighting to the death. This was the best way for a rank 9 to reach the peak. Zhang Weiyu and Qin Yaozu had reached the peak this way. Bang! The long-haired true god struck again. This time, Wu Chuan still could not dodge. His mentality was not as good as the other party. He was locked on. At this moment, Wu Quishan growled. His sword struck. Li Changsheng and the rest unleashed the last of their strength, attacking one after another. They had to fight for a chance for Wu Chuan. Among these people, he was the one with the most hope of reaching the peak. Even Wu Quishan, although ranked higher than him, Wu Quishan's path was slightly more complicated. It might be difficult for him to reach the peak instantly. At this moment, Wang Jinyang and the rest looked at each other. Without hesitation, they retreated one after another. They began to sit cross-legged in the void, going against the great path. Just do it for me. Wu Chuan roared. His expression was extremely ferocious. If he did not reach the peak now, he would all die. He was not resigned to this. Rumble! Heaven and earth roared. At this moment, Wu Chuan suddenly roared. 1,000-meter-long great path instantly appeared under his feet. The great path seemed a little unstable and a little shaky, but Wu Chuan did not care about this. He was wild with joy and shouted crazily, "I knew it! I knew it! I can definitely do it!" At this moment, the long-haired true god frowned slightly and said calmly, "Even so, you can't escape death. A newly advanced true god, and you dare to compete with me?" He was not too worried. An initial true god, whose power had not stabilized, would be his match. But he was not careless either. At this moment, he did not give Wu Chuan a chance. He instantly broke through the void and appeared in front of Wu Chuan. He slapped. Wu Chuan used his sword, but he was sent flying in the blink of an eye. He spat out fresh blood. So weak. Even true gods are the same. The long-haired true god was cold. He was not a newly advanced true god, just as he was prepared to kill Wu Chuan. In the distance, a figure broke through the air and came over. Kong Lingyuan roared, "Asking me to escape and take revenge? That kid is really daring. I can't do that. Everyone, I am here." As soon as he said that, Kong Lingyuan shouted. A path under his feet led straight to this place, 1,000 meters in the blink of an eye. The next moment, Kong Lingyuan's aura skyrocketed. 1,000 meters in one step. His speed was incomparably fast. He laughed loudly and said, "Wu Chuan, you're not bad. You're 3 seconds faster than me. But I'm not injured, you piece of trash." He looked at Wu Chuan disdainfully. "Look at your injuries. I'm not." But Wu Chuan could not care less about this. He was overjoyed and laughed loudly. "Old Kong, slow is slow. You're the most useless one. Your ranking is higher than mine, but you're slower than me. Let's see who dares to laugh at me in the future." Kong Lingyuan became a paragon, 1 step slower than him. At this moment, the dying old manly could not help but scold. 2 rookies pecking at each other. What's the point? As soon as he said that, even in the face of death, everyone burst into laughter. The next moment, everyone roared in unison, "Congratulations to the 2 paragons! Congratulations to humanity!" This roar was earth-shattering. Congratulations to the human race for the addition of 2 new apex experts. Killing a true god, congratulations again. Rumble. At the periphery, the true god in charge of sealing heaven and earth had no choice but to remove the mentality lockdown in the surroundings and fight with Kong Lingyuan instantly. Wu Chuan laughed maniacally too, roaring, "Congratulations to killing a true god." Slash. Wu Chuan also fought with the long-haired true god in the blink of an eye. The 2 new paragons, although their combat strength had increased by a lot, were still being beaten back. Even so, the laughter never stopped. They were fighting with their lives. "If I don't die, I'll definitely bite a piece of you." M. Chapter 997. Kill. The angry roars were loud. However, the roars were useless. Soon, Wu Chuan and Kong Lingyuan were sent flying, crashing through the air, blood spurting nonstop. Old Man Li and the others looked at each other. Their laughter became softer, a little helpless, but very calm. 2 newly promoted paragons were no match for them. That was for sure. Old Man Li was really helpless now. He sighed. "Old Wu, why are you so useless? You're ranked higher than Wu Chuan. Why don't you become a paragon?" Wu Quishan said calmly, "I'm not as high as you. I'm 4th on the wind cloud list. Why don't you become a paragon?" "I'm still young. I'm not that much older than you." Old Man Li was not convinced. He cursed, "You've absorbed true King Dao. You're as useless as Tianmu." Beside him, Tianmu was implicated. He smiled bitterly. "I absorbed Dao. I was only a weak rank. 9 then. Could I be the same as Wu Quishan? Wu Quishan is really useless. I said he would become a paragon a long time ago. He hasn't done it yet." The 3 of them spoke one after another, cursing and swearing. There was no elegance to speak of. Although they were cursing, they still looked at Li Hansong and the other 2 behind them. Old Man Li frowned slightly, saying, "These 3 kids seem to have some ideas. However, they're not even rank 9 now, although their combat strength is strong. Even if they break rank 9 now, it's already good enough if they have rank 5 or 6 strength. Of course, if they go further, they might have rank 7 or 8 strength. The key was that it was useless. Even if the 3 of them joined forces and possessed combat strength at Qi Huanyu's level, it was useless at this moment. 2 veteran true gods. Their strength was not comparable to ordinary true gods. Did they not see the 2 newly promoted paragons being beaten miserably? Shouting about killing true gods to congratulate them earlier was just bragging. Even if they could not win, they had to show their strength. Wu Quishan smiled, saying, "Maybe there's hope. Look after these kids." Now, the seal is broken. Wu Quishan looked around and said slowly, The few of us are considered half-crippled. We can't even run. He looked around and finally saw the old CCMU vice-chancellor who was healing. He smiled, saying, "Vice-Chancellor Yun, those kids, I'll leave them to you. Your injuries aren't too serious, and Li Hansong is half a student of yours. Later, bring them away." Before the old headmaster could speak, Tianmu casually said, "I don't even know how a weakling like you managed to sneak in. Since the battle wasn't of much use, you could only run away. Old Yun, run faster later. I know you can run. All these years, other than me, you're the only one who's lived the longest in martial arts universities. You've participated in many battles. Not only did you not die, you've even made it to rank 9. You have a lot of teaching experience. When you go back, take a few promising fellows and find a place to hide." The old vice-chancellor of CCMU opened his eyes and looked at the crowd. He said in a low voice, "I'm old and my strength is not enough. It's good that you're not strong enough." Tianmu chuckled and said, "Only the weak will not be noticed. They will not be pursued. As for us experts on the wind and cloud list, if we really lose, none of us can escape. You're not a powerhouse on the wind cloud ranking. When the time comes, the inheritance will be the most important. You're qualified." The old headmaster looked at the crowd before turning his head to look at the few young talents. A hint of helplessness flashed across his eyes. Leave? Who would be willing to take on such a responsibility? Even Kong. Ling Yuan dared not. Hence, after settling down the rank 9 who had retreated, he quickly rushed here, ready to find an opportunity to participate in the battle. Those who were responsible for inheriting civilization were the most pitiful. The old vice-chancellor's side, the minister, and the others should have made arrangements. There's no need for me to stay. Since Zhang Tao had already made preparations for the last fight, he would not be unprepared. The plan to preserve a descendant might have already begun. Just go if I tell you to. What's with the nonsense? Tianmu was about the same age as him. He did not mince his words and said hotly, "It's not like I'm letting you live. I'm letting these kids live. They can only take revenge if they're alive." As he said that, he transmitted his voice. "The few of us will give that long-haired guy a fierce blow later. That fellow, Wu Chuan, seized the opportunity. He might be able to take advantage of us." Everyone was well aware of the so-called fierce blow. As they spoke, the few people behind them had some changes. At this moment, Li Hansong was the first to experience a change. His body expanded rapidly. Li Hansong opened his eyes and said gloomily, what do I do now?" No experience. He walked through the Sanjiao gate, the gate of life. This time, it seemed to be a little different. His mentality and consciousness wandered in the gate of life for a long time. Then his body began to expand. His aura was getting stronger and stronger, but Li Hansong felt like he was about to explode. What did this mean? Was he considered to have succeeded? No experience at all. At this moment, Yao Qingjun also opened his eyes. He frowned slightly and said, "Do you see the gate?" "What? You don't see it?" Yao Qingjun glanced at him. At this moment, his mentality was also constantly transforming. He said in a low voice, "It's not the ordinary rank 9. Try pushing the gate. It seems like you can push it." In the depths of the gate of mind, he saw a faintly discernible gate. His mentality pushed for a bit. It did not seem to be too sturdy. The gate seemed to have opened a small gap. Then it was the current situation. His mentality continued to grow. The speed was very fast. "Gate," Li Hansong said in surprise. "We have a gate too?" Did Extreme Tao Heavenly Emperors have a gate too? This was unclear. It seemed like no one knew. Wasn't it said that Extreme Tao Heavenly Emperors could battle sovereigns? If sovereigns sealed the gate, they could still block the path of extreme Tao heavenly emperors. This was also looking down on extreme Tao heavenly emperors too much, right? Thinking up to here, Li Hansong looked at him rather strangely. Don't tell me you're exterminating? Imposter? Yao Qingjun could not be bothered. I really didn't see it. You saw it. Maybe it's really an imposter. Right at this time, Wang Jinyang opened his eyes. At this moment, his vitality surged continuously, becoming stronger and stronger. The three people did not seem to have walked out of Origin Dao, but their auras were strengthening continuously, making the others somewhat surprised and giving sidelong glances too. How did these three people do it? Not stepping into Origin. How did they become strong? Wang Jinyang opened his eyes and said with a slight frown, "There's a gate. I saw it too. The only possibility is that after the previous life died, someone laid down a gate anew." The moment these words came out, the few people's hearts trembled slightly. What did he mean? Wang Jinyang did not say much either. What did he mean? The Sanjiao Gate had 3 gates. Back then, when Zhan and these people were alive, did sovereigns really block 3 gates? Not necessarily. In that case, perhaps after Zhan and these people died, someone else made a move and laid down another gate, a total of 3 gates. Wang Jinyang said nothing else, nor did he move, continuing to close his eyes. He discovered that the more he pushed the gate, the faster his strength grew. It was as if something behind the gate was feeding back to them, strengthening their strength. Whether this was considered walking the great Tao in reverse, they did not know. Perhaps this was the leftover feedback from their previous life. When they were weak, the imperishable substance that healed them seemed to have originated from this. There was indeed another world within the Sanjiao Gate. Under normal circumstances, when ordinary martial artists explored the Sanjiao Gate with their mental power, it was very easy for them to become immersed and eventually be unable to return. If that happened, they would become the living dead. None of them had it. Wang Jinyang did not think too much about it. At this time, he just had to accept this fact. Soon, Wang Jinyang opened his eyes again. This time, Li Hansong said sheepishly, "I still haven't discovered it. In any case, I feel that I'm still growing stronger, but I did see a path. I don't know if it's the great Tao of Origin. I didn't go there. It's quite far. We'll talk about this later." Wang Jinyang was unwilling to say more, but Yao Chengjun said faintly, "For someone with an iron head, maybe there's no one blocking the way." Li Hansong glanced at him. "I'll kill you sooner or later. Old Yao is actually stabbing me in the heart every day now." Although he thought about it, Li Hansong still said quickly, "No, it's hard to go further. My current strength." Li Hansong shook his head. He felt that he was much stronger than before, but even if he was stronger, did he have the strength of 4th or 5th stage origin? Even if the 3 of them joined forces, they might not be Wu Quishan's match. It was useless. This made Li Hansong extremely disappointed. "It's useful." Wang Jinyang's aura seemed to be a notch stronger than Li Hansong's. At this moment, he glanced at the 2 of them, took a deep breath, and said, "Fong Ping isn't here. We can only rely on ourselves. If he's here, it'll be very easy for us. But now, let's try it." As the 2 of them looked at him doubtfully, Wang Jinyang said telepathically, "Among the 3 of us, one of us has a strong vitality, one has a strong mentality, and the last has a strong physique. If Fong Ping is here and changes his aura, the 3 of us might be able to merge into one. The 3 of us will merge into one, becoming an existence with a strong physique, vitality, and mentality." As soon as he said that, Li Hansong was excited at first, then disappointed. Fong Ping was not here. Although Fong Ping is not here now, it's not impossible. Both of you have absorbed the strength of Zhan's heart, and I have absorbed even more. Wang Jinyang's eyes flickered. Zhan's strength is very strong, and the essence of his strength is even stronger. His strength has always been in our bodies. Think of a way to extract this strength now and forcefully conceal your own aura. We'll try to use Zhan's strength as our origin, and the three of us will merge. It's similar to the combo combat technique, but it's a level higher. In the Emperor's tomb, Old Yao and Tai Tu had both absorbed Zhan's strength. If that was the case, they could use Heavenly Emperor Zhan's origin as a link and try to merge. When the two heard that, their eyes lit up. The three of them in one, perhaps it was not just a simple superposition of their strength. Perhaps it would be even stronger. This time, both of them began to search for Zhan's strength. The essence of Zhan's strength was too high, and they did not finish absorbing it last time. The three of their auras gradually began to fluctuate. At this moment, the two true gods who were fighting with Kong Lingyuan also transmitted their voices to each other. Our Wang Jinyang, and the rest a little different. A little. Origin seems to be assimilating. Origin assimilation? What are they doing? Be careful. More and more of the 72 lords of gods have died these years. Previously, Chang Qingzi and the rest had not even left the graveyard of the gods and died inside. We cannot follow in their footsteps. I'll stop these two, you go and kill the others, capture these few. These three people might be the reincarnations of extreme Tao heavenly emperors, who knew if they had a backup plan. Although it was almost impossible for these three people to instantly recover their previous life strength. But what if, of course, if they really recovered, then they were not what they could deal with. Even if all the powerhouses of the current three realms gathered together, they might not be a match. One emperor suppressing the three realms. Extreme Tao Heavenly Emperor's strength was comparable to an emperor. The appearance of an extreme Tao Heavenly Emperor was also enough to suppress the three realms. This was the true supreme powerhouse of the heavenly realm. There were some things that the people of the divine sect knew more than the average venerable emperor. This was because the founder of the divine sect was really closely related to the emperor. Both of them were vigilant. Too many true gods had died today. They were also afraid that they would follow in their footsteps. At this moment, both of them exploded in an instant, fighting Kong Lingyuan and Wu Chuan until they kept crashing through the space. However, Wu Chuan also seemed to have sensed that these people were not normal. Seeing the situation, he roared angrily, yelling crazily, yelling, "Old Kong, whoever lets the opponent go is a coward." Kong Lingyuan was speechless. "What time is it now? You're using this to provoke me?" Thinking was just thinking. Kong Lingyuan was also fighting with all his might, although he felt that he should not believe a few brats who had not even reached rank 9. Fang Ping had already let him see that those rank 8 martial artists should not be underestimated. Fang Ping had broken 9. That was killing many true gods. Even if these three were not as good as Fang Ping, if the three of them joined forces, they would more or less have some combat power, right? Just as Kong Lingyuan and Wu Chuan were fighting with all their might to entangle their opponents, the three people's auras were becoming more and more similar, closer and closer. The origin of the power of battle. At this moment, Li Hansong's divine armor appeared. Yao Chengjuan's long spear appeared in a flash. Wang Jinyang's longbow also appeared once again. The three of them opened their eyes abruptly. Merge. The three of them roared one after another. At this moment, Yao Chengjun seemed to turn invisible. His entire body merged into the long spear. The god-destroying spear suddenly erupted with a dazzling light. It was the same for Wang Jinyang. At this moment, it was as if he had become pure vitality, merging into the blood-colored longbow in the blink of an eye. The longbow seemed to be alive. The color of blood was also becoming more intense. At this moment, Li Hansong roared. Holding the bow in his left hand and the spear in his right, he roared, "Merge!" Hum. The void trembled. Li Hansong's aura suddenly skyrocketed. His body also expanded, turning into a giant. "No, I've been tricked to death by you guys. You guys are squeezing me until I explode." Li Hansong roared. These two people's powers were merging with him. All of a sudden, his mentality and vitality force skyrocketed. It was a little hard for him to bear such an increase in strength. "Stop talking nonsense. Attack quickly." Wang Jinyang's roar was heard. This guy, did he not just stack his strength a few times? Did he not just have a physical body that was about to explode? His physical body was strong. What was there to be afraid of? Li Hansong cursed. Without another word, he roared again and broke through the air. This time, he was far away from everyone. At the next moment, Li Hansong held the longbow in his hand. He knocked his spear and shouted, "Vice-Chancellor Wu, Elder Kong, hold them back." Wu Chuan did not say anything. Li Hansong roared again, "Hold them back." This time, Wu Chuan could not hold it in anymore. His mentality fluctuated violently. "Stop talking nonsense. Hurry." What were these few brats doing? He could feel the skyrocketing aura. But now, he was about to be beaten to death. "If you have the time to let me hold them back, then go ahead and fight. Kill them." At this moment, the two true gods were a little wary and shouted. The three of them had actually merged into one. This was beyond their expectations. However, from the aura, they were very strong. They did not seem to have reached the level of a true god. Logically speaking, there was nothing to worry about. But when the long-haired true god was locked on by the spear, he kept feeling uncomfortable and uneasy. At this moment, Li Hansong roared, "I can't hold on any longer." With a loud roar, his golden body exploded. The divine armor did not move at all, but the flesh and blood inside instantly evaporated. Shoot! Rumble! The god-slaying spear was mixed with an extremely powerful aura and shot out. It seemed to be inferior to a true god's attack. The long-haired true god wanted to dodge, but he was held back by Wu Chuan. In addition, the spear was locked on, so it was hard for him to dodge. "No, something's wrong. The aura is not too strong. It shouldn't be a threat to my life," the long-haired true god thought to himself. However, that sense of danger did not disappear. Very soon, he knew where the danger was coming from. His companions were facing him. He had his back to them and did not see anything. However, his companions saw an unforgettable scene. The spear suddenly changed halfway through its trajectory. At this moment, a figure suddenly appeared on the spear. The figure appeared a little abruptly. Its back was facing them, and it was facing Li Hansong. At this moment, there seemed to be a sigh. "You are better than I expected. I thought you would hold back a little. I didn't expect you didn't mind. You are you. I am me. After all, we are not alone." A murmur was heard. At the next moment, the figure turned around, grabbed the god-slaying spear casually, and threw it out. The god-slaying spear did not seem to contain any energy waves. It was calm. Not even the sound of the wind was heard. You have to learn how to use your power reasonably. Extreme martial artists have unique power and control it all. Of course, you and I are not on the same path. Figure it out yourself. A murmur was heard. In the blink of an eye, the spear appeared behind the long-haired true god. Like a piece of tofu, the spear easily pierced into his back. In the long-haired true god's disbelief, the spear broke out of his body. In the blink of an eye, its power was exhausted, and it fell to the ground after piercing through his body. However, all the power that he had just gathered exploded in his body. Rumble! This explosion was so loud that it shocked everyone. However, the long-haired true god's physical body was still in the same spot, but there was a hole in his chest. The explosion did not come from his physical body. At the next moment, everyone knew where the explosion came from. In the sky, a path was destroyed in an instant. It was not broken, but it turned into countless pieces and disappeared from the world. At this moment, Yao Chengjun fell to the ground, panting heavily. He held the god-slaying spear in his hand and looked at Wang Jinyang, who had fallen with Li Hansong, strangely. Wang Jinyang's face was pale, but he did not say a word. Li Hansong's divine armor did not disappear. He relied on the power of the divine armor to maintain his golden body from collapsing completely. At this moment, he was stunned. Was that a battle? Battle! He did not die. Then what was old Wang? It was just a remnant will. Wang Jinyang lowered his head and groaned. His blood flowed out, and his face was pale. Everyone has a demonic heart, and he is no exception. He is not a saint without any desires. He wants to revive. The power of his heart has some remnant will. At this moment, Li Hansong seemed to understand. When old Wang absorbed the power of heavenly battle Thearka's heart, he seemed to have absorbed something else. That shadow just now might be what he had absorbed. However, at this moment, old Wang exhausted everything to draw out the power of his heart, and it seemed to have expelled this thing. Li Hansong looked at him worriedly. Was this all? Could old Wang have been possessed by Zhan? He could not be bothered to be shocked at how powerful Zhan was. Just now, Zhan had used the power of not even a true god, but a casual attack had destroyed a true god source. The use of power was already beyond imagination. Old Wang did not speak anymore, and he did not have the strength to speak. This was just a portion of the heart's power. If he went to the ruins of the heaven and absorbed the remaining corpses, would he still be Zhan? Perhaps. But even so, I should find a chance to look for it. Old Wang muttered in his heart. It was time to look for it. He was stronger, and he was willing to help humans. That was enough. Just like what Taitu had said, even if he became his previous life and lost himself. So what? If he could really recover the power of the extreme Tao Heavenly Emperor, it would be enough to quell all troubles. Zhan was really too powerful. A remnant will combined with the power of a true god killed a true god so easily that it was shocking. This was the might of the extreme Tao Heavenly Emperor. At the same time, another true god attacked Kong, Ling Yuan frenziedly. He wanted to run. His companion's death shocked him too much. What was that? Did the extreme Tao Heavenly Emperor revive? To actually easily slay a true god, this made him terrified to the max. Even when he saw the three people seemingly powerless at this moment, falling to the ground, he also wanted to run. Too terrifying. If there was crushing in terms of power, he would not be so alarmed. But the power that the other party displayed did not have true god level. He wanted to run, but at this moment, Wu Chuan and Kong Ling Yuan went crazy, dead, to actually finish off a true god. So easily? Wu Chuan laughed crazily and roared, "Your father also slaughtered a god." All around, the human powerhouses all had dazed looks. You slaughtered a god? Yes, the other party's corpse was sent flying by Wu Chuan with a kick. But were you sure that you killed it? Wu Chuan did not care about this. My opponent died, and no one present had the strength to kill him. Then it was naturally me who killed it. Old Kong, trash, kill him together. Slaughter a pair today. Kong Ling Yuan was speechless. At this moment, he also could not care too much. With a loud roar, he and Wu Chuan attacked, that true god frenziedly, one in front and one behind. The void cracks appeared frequently. The commotion was huge. Compared to the fall of that true god just now, the commotion was more than 1,000 times bigger. But at this moment, everyone's mind was still recalling that spear just now. Millions of power control. Not only that, there was also the condensation of power, truly condensing into one point. At this moment, many people were deep in thought, as if comprehending something. A few powerhouses also landed one after another at this time, protecting the three in the center. No one asked what exactly happened just now. At the same time, Heavenly King subduing, King Sun, King Jen, these Heavenly King powerhouses, other than the still frenzied moon spirit, all appeared one after another, looking in the direction of Mount Royal Sea. They did not sense anything, nor did they see anything. The only thing they felt was that a great Tao collapsed, and a true God fell. But at that moment just now, they seemed to be faintly palpitating. Heavenly King, subduing, looked over there, and did not speak. Very soon, he turned his head to look at Zhang Tao. Zhang Tao was about to fall. His backup plan did not seem to have appeared yet, or rather, he was just fooling Fang Ping. The unforeseen event at Mount Royal Sea happened not long ago here. At this moment, Fang Ping and Zhao Xingwu were still waiting for an opportunity to break out. The fall of a true god did not seem to cause too much of a commotion today. Chapter 998. Does Zhang Tao still have a backup plan? At this point in the battle, even Heavenly King Stage powerhouses had appeared. Among the known Heavenly King Stage powerhouses, other than the Kuan King, it was unknown if the Demon Emperor had reached the Heavenly King Stage, but the probability was not low. If these two Heavenly King Stage powerhouses did not appear, it was hard to say if there were any Heavenly Kings behind the sky beyond Avalon and the Domain Lands. Who else could turn the situation around? Li Zhu had been watching from the sidelines. Even though Zhang Tao dashed over, Li Zhu still retreated. Under such circumstances, how could Zhang Tao break through the encirclement? The battle was in full swing. Humans versus the catacombs. The Wan Wu versus the divine sect. Some of the venerable sovereigns in the human realm upon heavens had joined the battle, while the rest were fighting against the 5 venerable sovereigns who had helped the humans. The subduing Heavenly King had been entangled with the 2 Heavenly Kings. At the moment, most of the experts from the overseas immortal islands and some from the human realm beyond heavens and the land of domains had yet to join the battle, while the 2 kings and Li Zhu had yet to join the battle. Who could reverse the situation at this moment and save mankind? Fang Ping did not know. At this moment, Fang Ping was also at a loss. He was very powerful. He had killed many true gods in the space battlefield. After he came out, he had killed 3 true gods under the command of the 2 kings and had secretly severed the great Tao of 4 or 5 true gods. Among the true gods who had fallen today, more than 10 had died in Fang Ping's hands. He had done it very successfully, unprecedented. Wang Wu's participation in the war was also very important to him. If he did not bring back an emperor weapon, Moon's spirit might not easily believe Zhao Xingwu's words. At this point, no one would say that Fang Ping was useless. However, Fang Ping kept glancing at Zhang Tao. In his mind, Zhang Tao was extremely powerful and omnipotent. Was it really impossible? Zhang Tao said that he would create an opportunity for him to break out of the encirclement. Could it be the opportunity for him to die? 6 venerable sovereigns besieged Zhang Tao. At this moment, Zhang Tao's golden body was already dim, and his aura was unstable. Fang Ping had already made preparations. He informed the cat to activate the trap. Regardless of whether these people went or not, they would more or less create some chaos. Just as he was about to do so, Zhang Tao suddenly let out a bitter laugh as he was nailed to the void by Fate King's spear. Seeing that the Fate Monarch was about to make another move, Zhang Tao coughed up blood, but he said, "What's the rush?" Were they that impatient? Aren't you afraid that I'll kill you before I die? Even if Zhang Tao, who possessed the strength of 36 saints, was seriously injured and on the verge of death, the 6 venerable emperors would not dare to be careless. If it wasn't for the fact that he had expended too much energy this time and didn't have enough time to fuse with his Tao, the 6 of them might not have been able to injure him so easily. Wait, I can't run. Zhang Tao laughed. Then he panted and said, I've always thought that I've done all kinds of evil things and am not a good person. He had never claimed to be a good person, but although I'm not a good person, I rarely go against my conscience. Everyone frowned. What was King Wu doing at this time? Summarize my life. The martial king was indeed a character. Even during the heavenly realm, those princes couldn't compare to someone like King Wu. They had to bear hardships and forge ahead. Step by step, they had led the Hua nation to this point. In a single battle, the humans had killed dozens of monarchs. This was an outcome that no one could have predicted 30 years ago. But even heroes have their twilight years. Zhang Tao had nowhere else to go. Was there a need for someone like him to boast about his achievements? Zhang Tao opened his mouth. At this moment, more than half of the powerhouses focused their attention on him. What else did King Wu want to say? Even the 2 kings and Li Zhu were interested. What did King Wu want to say now? On Fang Ping's side, Warlord staggered over and met up with Zhao Xingwu. They had finally stopped their opponent. At this moment, Warlord's expression was a little ugly, as if he knew something. While everyone was paying attention, Life King did not rush to kill Zhang Tao. Zhang Tao's aura was still declining. His injuries were too severe. The longer this dragged on, the weaker King Wu would be. In the end, he might not even be able to attack before his death. Besides, he wanted to hear what King Wu had to say. He also wanted to know what someone like King Wu would do at this time. Turn the tables? The catacombs and the divine sect had countless powerhouses. The 2 kings had not made a move yet, but it did not mean that they would not. On Zhang Tao's side, even if another heavenly king came, he might not be able to save him. Killing King Wu was a consensus among many. King Wu, are you done? Zhang Tao chuckled. Not yet. Can't you wait for a while? After saying that, Zhang Tao sighed. Sometimes it's better to be black-hearted. What happened today was my idea alone. No one else knows about it. I will take responsibility for my actions. If you have any dissatisfaction, come at me. As soon as he said that, Life King and the others felt uneasy. At this moment, they did not wait any longer and attacked one after another. Zhang Tao, on the other hand, unleashed his remaining strength and resisted with difficulty. He shouted, 10 years ago, I went to a place by chance. There, I took an ice coffin with me. Do you want to resurrect her? Do it, or I will destroy all your hopes today. Zhang Tao. At this moment, the color of the world changed. In fact, the air was even colder than when Moon's spirit appeared. A deep, piercing voice spread in all directions. Good. Very good. Zhang Tao, I've been searching for 10 years. I thought of many people, but I never thought it would be you. You deserve to die. The voice was extremely cold. The next moment, a long sword shattered the void and appeared in front of Life King and the others instantly. Die. Heaven-destroying sword technique. Unquestionable sword. Demon Emperor. The surroundings were in chaos instantly. The unquestionable sword appeared. Life King and the others' expressions changed drastically. When that long sword appeared, they sensed the danger of death. Life King roared and waved his spear to block it. Before the sword arrived, Life King's spear was shattered. Thousand Goblin King returned to his true form. A giant dragon roared. His body shone with golden light, but his scales were still shattered. Heavenly Goblin King, also roared. He turned into a golden-winged rock and soared into the sky. The remaining 3 venerable sovereigns roared and retreated. Demon Emperor. At this moment, some people seemed to understand something. Gong Yuzi, who was fighting with others, was extremely angry. He roared, "Zhang Tao, how dare you?" At this moment, Gong Yuzi even gave up on his opponents and flew toward Zhang Tao. He was helping the humans, but Zhang Tao did such an evil thing. It was so disappointing. Zhang Tao's face was pale, but he didn't regret it. Looking at the shattered space in the distance, he said, "The ice coffin isn't with me. I hid it somewhere. Since the Demon Emperor has appeared and wants to take back the ice coffin, Demon Emperor, please help the humans escape." The space in the distance was shattered. An illusory figure appeared between heaven and earth. Heaven and earth shook. At this moment, even the crazy moon spirit slowed down. She tilted her head and looked at the illusory figure. Then she was filled with endless anger. "Unquestionable sword. How dare you deceive me? Unquestionable sword never deceived anyone." The illusory figure's voice was calm. "Unquestionable sword saw that person in the past. It's hard to tell whether he's real or not. Unquestionable sword never said that he's real." The illusory figure shook the space. He didn't move, but the long sword in front of him instantly exploded with extremely sharp, murderous energy. Buzz. The space was shattered. Zhang Tao's body was bleeding, but he still stood straight. "You should know my character. Save him. Otherwise, I won't tell you everything. I was too careless." Unquestionable sword, whose face could not be seen clearly, had calmed down. "I thought it would be safer if I didn't bring her with me. No one would go there. I didn't expect you to find out. Zhang Tao, you've really exceeded my expectations." After saying that, he asked, "Is she well?" "She's fine." Zhang Tao smiled. "I didn't open the ice coffin. I didn't expect it to be related to you back then. I was just surprised and curious. That's why I brought it back to the human world. After that, I found out more about the ice coffin's origin." The illusory figure did not speak. He looked at him for a while and said lightly, "If anything happens to her, I'll destroy the human race. Since she fell into your hands, it's not surprising that you forced me to make a move." Was Zhang Tao a good person? Not really. Internally, he was a hero, a good person, a leader, of faith, a king. Externally, he committed all kinds of evil. At this moment, Fang Ping understood. Zhang Tao had dug up Unquestionable Sword's wife's grave and stolen her coffin. He was using it to force Unquestionable Sword to show himself and make a move. This was his backup plan. Was digging up someone's wife's grave something a hero would do? Was using Unquestionable Sword's wife's remains to force Unquestionable Sword to make a move? None of them. However, at this moment, looking at Zhang Tao's calm and unperturbed face, Fang Ping did not know what to feel. No wonder Zhang Tao had waited until now to use this backup plan. Unless it was a desperate situation, Zhang Tao would not want to use this method. Family members should not be harmed. This was the core values of the martial artists. Braving life and death and fighting to the end, martial artists, even evil sects, rarely harmed family members. Because this was the real bottom line, the bottom line of humanity. However, at this moment, Zhang Tao had broken this bottom line. Not only did he harm family members, but a dead person too. While Fang Ping was thinking about this, Unquestionable Sword did not dwell on it anymore. He was a decisive person, since Zhang Tao had something on him. With Zhang Tao's personality, he would not regret it now. He would not give up on a combat strength like him. He would grasp at any straw that could save him. King Qian. At this moment, Unquestionable Sword looked into the distance and said indifferently, "Stop King Kuan." I've watched enough. Demon Emperor, I'm just passing by. King Qian's voice came and disappeared. Suit yourself. Unquestionable Sword stopped talking to him. He looked at Zhang Tao and said indifferently, I can't help you too much. Some things are beyond my ability. Having said that, Unquestionable Sword looked around, looked at the venerable emperors who were fighting with his long sword, and said indifferently, Tell me where the ice coffin is. I'll help you stop these 6 people. 6 venerable emperors. Stop the 6 venerable emperors and tell him where the ice coffin was. This was his condition. Zhang Tao chuckled and said, All right, but I'll give you some bonus. Those few, help me kill them. Having said that, he pointed at Fang Ping. At this moment, on Fang Ping's side, Warlord and Zhao Xingwu were resisting the attacks of many powerhouses, including Maple King. At this moment, Maple King did not say anything. He broke through the air and fled, yelling, Lord, save me. Bonus. Yes, it was a bonus. Among the true gods, the strongest Maple King had not reached emperor level. Unquestionable Sword had killed too many powerhouses like this. In the battle 1,000 years ago, he entered the catacombs and killed countless true kings, including many emperor-level powerhouses. Just as Maple King fled, Unquestionable Sword's figure flickered and appeared in front of the other 3 in the blink of an eye. The 3 true king powerhouses were terrified. Without saying anything, they fled one after another. Demon Emperor. A person's reputation was like a tree's shadow. The Demon Emperor was a taboo in the catacombs. The catacombs' inheritance was somewhat broken because of the battle 1,000 years ago. The Demon Emperor entered the catacombs and killed countless ancient powerhouses. At this moment, many people still remembered how he killed people back then. On the other side, Myriad Demon King, Sky Demon King, and the other powerhouses were all roaring in anger. Unquestionable Sword, how dare you show up? Bastard! Unquestionable Sword turned a deaf ear to them. His jade-like palm stretched out, and almost in the blink of an eye, he captured a true king powerhouse. At this moment, the void in the distance seemed like someone was going to break through the air and arrive. However, in the next moment, King Qian's laughter was heard. King Kuan, long time no see. Why are you in such a hurry? At this moment, even though they were extremely far away, everyone seemed to have seen this scene. On the sea, 2 figures stood facing each other. Both of their figures were very illusory. The one who spoke was an old man who was also King Qian. On the other side was King Kuan, the sect leader of the divine sect, the son of the earthly sovereign, one of the 8 kings, and the mastermind behind several wars over the years. King Qian, you want to stop me? No, King Kuan, destroying the human world now is different from what we discussed back then. Destroy the human world? I'm just killing some people who are blocking my way. How can the human world be destroyed so easily? The 2 of them spoke, but did not make a move. King Kuan also stopped breaking through the void to move forward. At this moment, the Demon Emperor did not seem surprised, nor did he care. He grabbed a true king with one hand and said indifferently, Those who are weak should have this kind of awareness. The weak should not participate in these things. Why can't these people understand? His palm slowly descended. It had the charm of heavenly Dwarch-Jean's attack previously. There was not a strong energy wave, and it was calm. Boom. With a loud explosion, the true king who was running away was smashed into pieces. Fang Ping did not see what happened at Imperial Sea Mountain. Otherwise, he would have made a judgment. The Demon Emperor was not as strong as heavenly Dwarch-Jean. His strength had not penetrated into the origin. Even so, Fang Ping was shocked at this moment. He was too close to him. The Demon Emperor was almost right under his nose. He attacked calmly and killed a true king instantly with his extremely powerful strength. Although he did not kill emperors like Moon Spirit, when he killed true gods, he did not cause too much of a commotion. The demon emperor did not care about him. He stretched out his hand again and attacked the second person. It was none other than the Maple King. At this moment, two big hands appeared in the void behind the Maple King. Unquestionable, Jian, are you going to kill my people? The Sky Plant King's voice was cold and unafraid. Unquestionable Jian saw this and did not speak. The big hands disappeared and appeared behind the other two in the blink of an eye. He did not want to fight with the two true kings. He had already promised Zhang Tao to fight against the 6 emperors. There was no need to fight with the two true kings for a nobody. Ah! 2 screams were heard. The two true kings were no match for the demon emperor. This person might also have the strength of a heavenly king. The weakest true god could only be considered as a true god. There was a difference of 1,000 meters and 100,000 meters. As soon as unquestionable Jian attacked, he killed the 3 true king powerhouses almost instantly. The next moment, the demon emperor turned his head and looked at Fang Ping and Warlord. Uncle! Unquestionable Jian's voice was calm. I'm afraid you've recovered some of your memories, right? You recognized Yan, right? Zhang Tao knew that unquestionable Jian's wife was in the ice coffin. Warlord must have contributed a lot. Warlord's expression was complicated. He said in a low voice, "Yes." "Forget it, Uncle. Our relationship in the past. Today, let's end it here." Unquestionable Jian murmured. The demon emperor had chosen a human. Now he was Warlord, the warlord of the human race. He was not unquestionable Jian's uncle. After saying that, he looked at Fang Ping. "Tell Azure Cat that humans are humans and demons are demons. Humans have feelings, demons should have no feelings. Why bother yourself?" After saying that, unquestionable Jian did not speak again. He disappeared and appeared in front of the 6 Life King powerhouses in the blink of an eye. "I haven't fought for many years. Come and fight with me." Unquestionable Jian held the long sword in his hand. He was calm from the beginning, except when he was a little emotional when he just came out. Just when Fang Ping was still thinking about what he said just now, Zhang Tao's voice rang in his ears. "Why are you still standing there? Break out of the encirclement. Retreat." Before he finished speaking, Zhang Tao exploded and charged into the crowd. At this moment, the other human powerhouses did not bother him anymore. They fought and retreated at the same time. "Stop them!" Life King roared. He did not expect unquestionable Jian to appear and help King Wu's side. No, maybe unquestionable Jian did not want to help anyone. He just did not expect King Wu to dig up his wife's grave and steal her body. As soon as he finished shouting, unquestionable Jian chopped off his head with his sword. He said indifferently, "How dare you be distracted when you are fighting with me? Do you really think King Zhen can save you?" After saying that, unquestionable Jian made his move again. His palm was small, but this time he grabbed the Celestial Demon King's sharp claw. Sparks flew everywhere. With a crack, the Golden Rock's claw was broken. Compared to 1,000 years ago, Celestial Demon King, you don't seem to have improved much. Unquestionable Jian was indifferent. 1,000 years ago, the Celestial Demon King was the Demon King who protected the royal court. He had fought with him before. However, this Demon King did not seem to have improved in the past 1,000 years. "Demon King," the Celestial Demon King roared in anger. "You are actually still alive." Unquestionable Jian smiled faintly and didn't reply. At this moment, Heavenly King Zhen suddenly appeared from the void in the distance. He punched out a huge tunnel and shouted, "Retreat!" As soon as he said that, King Sun and King Zhen appeared and wanted to break the tunnel. Heavenly King Zhen snorted and dragged the two of them into the crack in the void again. At this moment, Zhang Tao's Book of Great Tao appeared again. At this moment, the Luofu Mountain Venerable, Huatongshan Venerable, and Void, Mausoleum, Grotto Heaven Venerable made their moves. "Just stay here. You are not qualified." Zhang Tao shouted. His body shone with golden light, and his aura increased rapidly. "Retreat now. I will cover you." Zhang Tao's battle prowess increased. As the masters of the 10 Grotto Heavens, Luofu Mountain Venerable was extremely powerful. However, the three of them were still trapped by the Book of Great Tao. Tianji, Tianming. Seeing the two kings about to attack, Zhang Tao shouted angrily, "Once the humans are eliminated, you will be next. Idiots! Are you really going to stop me?" The two kings didn't speak. Their eyes flickered as if they were thinking about something. At this moment, the two kings suddenly attacked, not Zhang Tao, but Li Zhu. Li Zhu suddenly appeared behind Zhang Tao. He shook his head slightly and said with a smile, "This world is really messy." He wanted to kill King Wu, but the two kings were protecting him. Wasn't the world messy enough? Zhang Tao was slightly shocked. He sensed Li Zhu's arrival, but Li Zhu was too fast. He didn't break the space, but teleported. Zhang Tao didn't have time to fight back against the three emperors. Fortunately, the two kings seemed to have thought of something and attacked. Tian Ming Monarch and Tian Ji Monarch attacked Li Zhu at the same time. The space around them kept collapsing like a black hole. The whole ground had disappeared and was still expanding. Li Zhu chuckled and said, "Two kings, when there are more living people and experts, the situation will be chaotic. Some people who needed to be killed still had to be killed. Why bother?" Then Li Zhu thrust his palm, which collided with the two kings' palms and disappeared in the void. The two kings both frowned. Li Zhu was really powerful. He might not have reached the heavenly king level, but his strength should be comparable to theirs. Besides, who knew if Li Zhu had hidden his strength? Li Zhu shook his head again and laughed. His mind energy fluctuated. At this moment, an unexpected scene occurred once again. Many experts of the divine sect were fighting against the experts of Wanwu Mountain. But when Li Zhu's mind energy fluctuated, 4 or 5 true gods suddenly attacked their companions. This scene shocked everyone. Rumble! No! How dare you betray the divine sect? As the experts of the divine sect screamed, several experts of the divine sect died on the spot. After killing their companions, these people didn't even look back as they quickly flew away. The people of Wanwu Mountain were stunned. What was this? It was not over yet. Almost at the same time, people from the catacombs, humans, and overseas immortal islands rose and killed their companions. Fang Ping, who was escaping with the warlord, saw an unbelievable scene. On the human side, among the experts who were bathed in blood, a top expert from the pantheon of gods had betrayed them. Under his companions' disbelieving gazes, he destroyed their golden body with one strike. On the human side, there was also a traitor, Chaos. In the distance, Li Zhu was still smiling faintly. But when he saw that only one person from the human side attacked, he shook his head slightly and sighed. Thunder King, is the agreement invalid? On the human side, a square-faced powerhouse was fighting with all his might. As if he was controlling lightning, he smashed a true king's body with one strike. Seeing that the elders of Stellar Sky City quickly dodged, the Thunder King said coldly, "I said to help you kill Li Xuanxia, not the others." Thunder King, The suppressing heavenly king is not that easy to kill. Li Zhu shook his head and smiled. There are not enough dead people. Make it more chaotic. As soon as he said that, 4 or 5 of the dozen true kings who had just betrayed the second kings suddenly attacked and killed their companions. Chaos. Complete chaos. At this moment, almost no one dared to believe the people around them. The powerhouses of the second kings were a little surprised. How did Li Zhu do it? Li Zhu was still calm. Even when he saw the traitors being surrounded and killed by the powerhouses, he did not help. He just smiled and said, "Since ancient times there is no need to do that. After so many battles, there are still so many true gods and venerable emperors left. Why bother? Too many powerhouses. It was not good. Too many people could easily make the situation chaotic. If that was the case, then more people should die. Today, almost 100 true gods had died. But today, more than 300 true gods had participated in the battle. More than 40 venerable emperors. So many people, it was not good to be in a mess. P.S. There is an official chicken dinner event tonight, but it should not delay writing, because the eagle died very quickly. Everyone can rest assured. M. Chapter 9, 99. Li Zhu. The two kings were enraged. There were too many accidents today, which made the two kings extremely angry. First, the king's battlefield was blown up, and true gods were injured or killed. Then, Moon's spirit caused trouble for them without saying a word. The trouble wasn't over yet. In the blink of an eye, Li Zhu had people rebel. And it wasn't just one side. How did Li Zhu do it? It was still possible to plant spies in a faction, but Li Zhu had made many arrangements and planted spies. This was surprising. And why did Li Zhu do this? It wasn't good for him. At this moment, his people were being surrounded and killed. Some people had already died, but Li Zhu didn't seem to care. Rumble. Heaven and earth overturned. The entire sky began to crack, and a torrential rain of blood poured down. Li Zhu looked on coldly and didn't say anything. On the other side, Zhang Tao didn't care about them. At this moment, he was covering the retreat for the humans. As for the one who rebelled, he was quickly killed by his furious comrades. A top traitor had appeared on the human side. This was beyond everyone's expectations. Because humans were weak, they had always been trying to survive. Unexpectedly, there was still an accident today. As for the Thunder King and the Shao family's patriarch, no one knew what agreement they had made with Li Zhu. But just as the War Kings were furious, Heavenly King Jin appeared in the distance and sighed, "Never mind, ignore him. Old Shao, there's no need to involve a third party in our feud." The Shao family's patriarch glanced at him and didn't say anything. The next moment, he suddenly exploded and sent the true king flying with one strike. He snorted coldly, "Everyone, don't worry. I only have a feud with Li Xuanxia. It has nothing to do with you." Then, he didn't care about the looks of the people around him and continued to fight. His combat strength was extremely strong, and he was also a near emperor-level expert. But everyone still didn't understand. Why would he have a feud with Heavenly King Jin? One had to know that Heavenly King Jin had fought one against 2 heavenly kings. Even if both sides didn't use their full strength, Heavenly King Jin's combat strength was still terrifying. In this situation, if there really was a deep feud, wouldn't Heavenly King Jin have already killed him? Everyone didn't understand. But since Heavenly King Jin had said so, the Shao family's patriarch indeed didn't attack anyone else. Even if everyone was still on guard, they didn't mention it. Enough people had died today. On the human side, 12 impasse realm experts had already fallen at this moment. Over at the catacombs, of the 8 people who had rebelled earlier, 2 had left. Of the remaining 6 people, 1 had died in battle. In just one battle, They had lost 13 experts. At this time, if the Shao clan's old ancestor, a near Emperor stage powerhouse, rebelled, the humans would not be able to bear it. Although the War King was a little annoyed, he couldn't care less at this moment. He shouted, "Retreat! Everyone retreat! As long as we don't die, we will take revenge sooner or later." Retreat! The experts of the 6 Holy Lands roared. Most of the leaders were dead. At this moment, they also respected King Wu as the human king and naturally listened to his arrangements. Everyone fought endlessly, killing their way into the spatial passage. The situation became even more chaotic. Today was a chaotic battle. Everyone was killing each other. No one knew why they were killing each other. Seeing that the rest of the humans were about to retreat, Ming Wang roared again, "Are you really going to let them go?" At this moment, there were still people who had yet to make a move. Apart from some rebellions, the overseas Immortal Islands and the 2 Kings People's Foundations had not been shaken. As for beyond Avalon, the few heavenly emperors who had cooperated with the humans had not made a move yet. They were all going to make a move. With so many venerable emperors, the humans would not be able to escape this disaster. At this moment, Zhang Tao trapped the 3 venerable emperors of the territories and shouted, "Humans only want to survive. Everyone, if you make a move, the humans will be destroyed. But everyone, think carefully. Even if you die, you won't be able to get away with it." Although Zhang Tao was severely injured, he was still domineering in this moment. He shouted, "The catacombs have killed enough today. Whoever dares to make a move, the humans will self-destruct and kill the enemies. Whoever makes a move first will be killed." There were powerhouses from the overseas Immortal Islands and beyond Avalon. Who would dare to make the first move? Ming Wang shouted again, "If we don't kill them, they will be punished one by one sooner or later. Everyone, do you really not understand?" At this point, if they did not kill the human powerhouses, would these people not take revenge? These people might lose the land of rebirth this time and hide in the dark, waiting for revenge. If that happened, they would not be able to eat or sleep in peace. At the same time, Moon's spirit seemed to have sobered up. She shouted, "Fong Ping, you are not allowed to leave." Fong Ping stopped in his tracks. It was over. This crazy woman still remembered this. Despite his worries, Fong Ping said quickly, "Let's retreat first. The venerable emperor can find me after the battle." The venerable emperor promised 10 people. Now, we're still short of 3. It won't be too late to tell the venerable emperor after killing 3 more. Moon's spirit snorted coldly and said no more. The monk could run, but the temple could not. Moreover, she did not plan to let Fong Ping escape. She would just follow him. Since she had promised to kill 10 people, she would kill a few more later. When she had collected 10 heads, she would find Fong Ping. Everyone retreated as they fought. The space passageway was very turbulent. On the other side of the passageway was Capital City's Imperial Sea Mountain. Going through Capital City's catacombs and then going to Forbidden Ocean was also a plan that had been set before. Killing. There were constant killings and more people died. There were powerhouses from all sides. Humans, catacombs, overseas Immortal Islands, people from the Second King. At this moment, all sides were in chaos. At the same time, in Zhang Tao's arms, the bead where the gate of all beings was located was shining. At this moment, it also attracted many people's attention. The gate of all beings seemed to be reacting as more and more people died. On the divine sex side, the few apologists were also a little surprised. Was it going to absorb the Tao? Zhang Tao seemed to be surprised too. He did not say anything, but looked in the direction of Forbidden Ocean. No one said anything. The venerable emperors from overseas Immortal Islands still did not attack. However, no one left at this time. They were all waiting and following. The catacombs and humans were in a killing frenzy. Both sides had lost the most people. So did Mount Wangu and the Divine Sect. These four forces were all extremely powerful. At this moment, everyone could not wait to see more of them die. It was a pity that the second king and Li Zhu did not fight again. This made everyone feel a little regretful. These two forces were also very powerful. If they fought, there would be heavy casualties. That would be better. The battlefield was moving. Under the protection of Warlord, Fang Ping also kept unleashing his power. He carried the divine weapon and killed into the true king's Tao. Even if he could not kill the other party, he could still buy time and rescue some human powerhouses. However, in this way, the consumption of wealth was also huge. Very soon, Fang Ping's wealth was almost depleted. At this time, both sides had also fought from one side of the passageway to the other side. Mount Imperial Sea was already in front of them. At the back, Zhang Tao was still entangled with a few venerable emperors. Unquestionable Jian led a group of life kings and followed while fighting. It was quite easy, but he did not intend to help anymore. He just followed. He also wanted to see what else Zhang Tao and the others could do. At this stage of the battle, it was not as if they wanted to retreat. The catacombs powerhouses who were in a killing frenzy were also not afraid of death at this time. Their combat power was 2-1. The humans were getting weaker as they fought, unless they all disappeared into thin air. Otherwise, even if they retreated, there was no place that was safe. Rumble! Mount Imperial Sea was here. At this moment, the battle between the powerhouses made Mount Imperial Sea shake. From Mount Imperial Sea to the Forbidden Sea was more than 2,000 li. Usually, 2,000 li was not far for the peak, but now it was out of reach. More and more humans were seriously injured. Even if Zhang Tao blocked some powerhouses, it did not help. At this moment in the distance, someone laughed and said, "I'm here." Wu Chuan took the lead. He was covered in blood and his aura was weak, but he laughed and said, "Wu Chuan is here. Today I killed 2 true gods. How delightful." Behind him, Kong Lingyuan, who was also seriously injured, was somewhat speechless. "Did you kill them?" The first one was killed by Wang Jintao and the others. The second one was killed by everyone, especially Kong Lingyuan, who risked his life to trap the other party. Only then did he put in all his effort to kill the other party. Wu Chuan had the cheek to say that. Wu Chuan did not care about him. He rushed over quickly and attacked a true king without saying a word. In the end, he shouted loudly. Once they exchanged blows, he was sent flying and vomited blood in less than 2 moves. Wu Chuan did not care and went forward to fight again. Behind him, Zhang Tao and the 3 venerable emperors of the boundary were also fighting. Golden blood dripped all over the void. These powerhouses were killing until their eyes were blood red. At this moment, another 3 figures rushed over quickly. Fang Ping. Wang Jinyang shouted. Fang Ping's expression changed when he saw the situation. Why did these guys come? There were a lot of people who wanted to kill them now. They all thought that these guys were reincarnations of extreme path heavenly emperors. They had finally killed 2 true gods. They should be hiding. Were they not here to cause trouble? Fang Ping was puzzled, but Yao Qingjuan's voice quickly rang in his ears. "Let's join forces and merge our auras." It's similar to a combined combat technique. If the 4 of us join forces, we can fight a true god. Fang Ping's gaze moved slightly. Could it be done? He had never tried it before. Fang Ping, hurry up. The 3 of us will integrate our strength into the divine weapon. You'll be in charge of replenishing and repairing your golden body. Your golden body is stronger than iron head. You can do it. Fong Ping was the most powerful healer. Moreover, his golden body and mentality were much stronger than Iron Head's. With Fong Ping as the leader, even without the lingering will to fight, the strength of the four would not be too weak. Fong Ping's strength was close to the impasse realm. Integrating the three's strength should make him stronger. In addition to the divine weapon, he would be even stronger. Under such circumstances, the consumption was huge. However, Fong Ping could replenish it. This also made up for his shortcomings. Fong Ping took a quick look at his own data. He did not know how long he could maintain the three's aura transformation. Wealth, 500 million points vitality, 219,999 calories, 219,999 calories. Mentality, 10,455 hertz, 104,555 hertz. Separable consciousness entity. Destructive power. 85 yuan, 85 yuan. Origin. Stage 1, increase 9% plus 30%. Storage space, 10,000 cubic meters plus energy shield, 1 point/minute plus aura simulation, 10 points/minute plus, including the four of them. He only needed to switch his and the other two's auras. His own conversion was fixed. Adding 2 people, it would only be 1,000 points per minute. The wealth needed to convert auras was not much. However, if he really integrated the strength of 4 people, what he needed to do was to repair his flesh, repair his mentality, replenish his vitality and energy. In addition to the battle consumption, the consumption would not be low. If he entered the true God's origin path and severed the Tao, the consumption would be even higher. Previously, Fong Ping had used up a lot of more than 2 billion wealth points to sever the true God's Tao. However, at this moment, Fong Ping also hated that he did not have true ultimate combat strength. Hearing Yao Qingjuan's continued narration, he did not think anymore and quickly closed in on them. Although Warlord did not know what those brats were doing here, he was still trying his best to stop the enemy. He even sent a voice transmission to Fong Ping, "You guys retreat." Fong Ping ignored him. He closed in and quickly concealed the 4 people's auras. Concealing the 4 people's auras also consumed 1,000 wealth points per minute. Fong Ping did not care about this. This was still necessary. There might be a surprise later. Those fellows might not expect him to suddenly become stronger. He concealed their auras, then quickly changed everyone's auras, disguising them as Old Wang's origin aura. Wang Jinyang and the others looked at each other, no longer hesitating. Just like before, Wang Jinyang quickly turned into vitality and integrated into the longbow. Yao Qingjun also turned into a gush of mentality and integrated into the god-killing spear. Li Hansong was stunned for a moment. Then, the armor suddenly floated up and quickly covered Fong Ping. Very soon, however, Li Hansong said with an innocent look, "I don't think I can do it. My head can't integrate with the divine weapon. Fong Ping, make do." At this moment, the armor was a little strange. Li Hansong's head popped out where the arm used to be. Li Hansong said gloomily, "How did they do it? If they can integrate everything into the divine weapon, why can't I?" If his head could not integrate, then he had no other choice. He could only make space for Fong Ping and let his head grow on the arm first. Fong Ping was also stunned. Even though the situation was tense, he did not know whether to laugh or cry. What was this? However, since things had come to this, he did not say anything. At this moment, Fong Ping suddenly felt that his physique was growing rapidly. The armor seemed to be constantly providing him with strength, making his physique stronger. Fong Ping grabbed the God of War bow and the god-killing spear. Similarly, 2 gush of energy integrated into his body. It was a very strange feeling. Although the energy was different, At this moment, everyone's energy seemed to be born from the same source and began to integrate. Fong Ping had not really considered this before. Now that he felt such a change, he suddenly realized something. Could it be that he could do this more often in the future? It did not have to be Old Wang and the others. He could also change the aura of the others. Could he integrate them all? However, thinking about it, the others might not be able to bring him an increase in strength. It's very powerful. Fong Ping's physique was also a little cracked, but it was not like Ironhead earlier, who could not hold on for a while. While Fong Ping's golden body was cracking, it was also constantly repairing. A large amount of imperishable substance emerged. At this moment, Fong Ping felt that he had become much stronger. Originally, his maximum strength was as high as 600,000 calories under all kinds of enhancements. At this moment, it was at least 30% stronger. He truly possessed the strength of a weak true god, comparable to a rank 9's 800,000 vitality. Being at the peak of a weak true god could not change anything. But he still had divine weapons in his hands. Not just one, but a lot of them this time. Moreover, Old Wang's bow was a long-range attack divine weapon. Hide your aura, shoot them to death. Fong Ping's eyes were bright. He knew what he had to do. Could these guys expect that he had the strength of a true god now? If they did not go all out to defend, it would not be surprising if he shot them to death. At the thought of this, Fong Ping dared not delay. Time was tight. He should also put in some effort. Fong Ping did not utter a word. He knocked the bow, using the god-destroying spear as an arrow, aiming at one person in an instant. With a low growl, he pulled the longbow to the fullest, shooting an arrow at a relatively weaker true king powerhouse in the crowd. The long arrow made a piercing sound, but it still did not reveal any aura. In such a chaotic situation, the piercing sound was all too normal. The powerhouse who was fighting heard the piercing sound coming from behind him, but there was no overflow of aura, so he did not pay much attention to it. Even if he was affected by the aftermath, it would not hurt him. However, at this moment, a powerhouse beside him shouted, "Be careful!" Be careful? This person had already felt the piercing sound behind his head, but there was no need to be careful, right? Could it be that the back of his head was hit by a Mount Yuhai stone that splashed out? Only this kind of stone could not be destroyed by the people present and be splashed out. This person had just had this thought when his expression changed drastically in the next moment. Danger, a sense of crisis. He was just about to dodge, but it was too late. He, who did not pay enough attention earlier, could not dodge at this moment. The god-destroying spear was right behind his head. Kaboom! An explosive sound was heard. On the long spear, a vitality outburst that belonged to the extreme intensity of the power erupted. This spear shot out and directly blasted the other party's head into pieces. Not only that, just as the other party's mentality was revealed, Yao Chengjuan's silhouette appeared on the god-destroying spear. The long spear instantly turned invisible, and a spear shot struck the mentality illusory body. How can this be? Even at this moment, this person was extremely shocked. How could there be such a sudden burst of powerful energy? There was no time for him to think. The long spear hit, an outburst of mentality of more than 10,000 hertz. A regular true god's mentality was only around 10,000 hertz. Fong Ping's mentality and Yao Chengjuan's fusion, together with the god-destroying spear, the strength of a regular true god's mentality was not as strong as theirs. This time, the other party's had exploded. How could he have any remaining strength to resist? Crack! A crisp sound was heard, and the mentality illusory body was shattered instantly. Many people were stunned by this scene. At the back, Life King and the rest who were entangled with unquestionable Jian saw this scene. Life King suddenly roared, "Kill Fong Ping! He can change his aura. This is a special kind of joint attack combat technique. Kill him." A powerhouse's vision was still very sharp. As soon as Fong Ping made his move, they roughly guessed it. The joint attack combat technique might be unfamiliar to humans, but to them, it was not unfamiliar at all. Fong Ping was actually the embodiment of a different kind of joint attack combat technique. However, Fong Ping's fusion was more thorough, unlike Qi Huanyu and the rest, who were still repelled. Qi Huanyu integrated the strength of some Heaven's Mandate soldiers and could already greatly increase his strength, let alone Fong Ping. Fong Ping's was the kind that was completely integrated. Not only did Life King see this, but he also saw something else. Not only him, but many people also saw it. Divine weapon, God-destroying spear, victory bow. That's Emperor armor. At this moment, some of the emperor-level powerhouses around also recognized it. A few of the ancient emperors' eyes were red. Were they really the reincarnations of the four emperors? Did they really carry divine weapons? This scene made Zhang Tao feel helpless. These guys were just causing trouble. "Run!" Zhang Tao roared. "Why aren't you running? Wait for these people to kill you." When Fong Ping heard that, he also did not say another word. He broke through the air and fled. While fleeing, he roared, "I have 4 or 5 divine weapons here. If you want them, come. I'm not strong enough. I'm easy to kill, but I can run." As soon as he finished speaking, Fong Ping relied on the strength of Emperor armor and his strong physique, and directly crossed Mount Royal Sea. When he was killing people, he had already considered the possibility of people recognizing the divine weapons. However, at this time, hiding was useless. If he could lure away many emperors, it would also be a help to humans. It was time for him to use his old skills. Previously, he did not dare to do it, and he could not do it because he was weak and not fast enough. It was very easy to be caught. However, now, as long as he escaped to the Forbidden Sea, he could conceal his aura and hide in the sea. These guys might not be able to find him. Fong Ping roared, then laughed loudly. "I forgot to mention, I still have the 4 Emperors combat technique inheritance. Old Cat even gave me a few sets of Emperor's lost techniques. Come on, you bunch of old farts. Are you crazy about becoming emperors? Come and snatch them." When these words came out, it really made people jealous. How strong was Fong Ping's strength? Even with that kind of strength, just now, he had barely reached true God level. Killing Zhang Tao, killing humans, killing countless people. For what? It was to become an emperor. However, if they killed Fong Ping and snatched the divine weapons with the 4 Emperors' Path and the Emperor's Path, they might be able to directly become an emperor. As for whether they believed it or not, they believed it. There was no other reason. Fong Ping was inhumanly strong. He was a martial artist who had just stepped into origin not long ago. Many true gods had died in his hands. There was definitely something strange about this kid. Moreover, at this moment, there were clearly 4 divine weapons in his hands. In the next moment, on the overseas Immortal Islands side, several emperors directly broke the void and chased after Fong Ping. On the Grand Master's side, the few celestial emperors who did not participate in the battle were the celestial emperors who cooperated with humans. At this moment, seeing the situation, they thought that they were in a dilemma and hesitated. It was better to go to Fong Ping's side and take a look first. Perhaps there would be gains. This time, these 6 emperors also did not say a word, broke the void, and went straight to Fong Ping. More than 10 emperors directly chased after Fong Ping. Not only that, Celestial Emperor Chong Rong roared, no longer caring about his dragon transformation, blasted a passage, and quickly chased after Fong Ping. Celestial Emperor Pingyu laughed, glanced at Zhang Tao and the others, thought for a while, and also fought with Gong Juanzi, rushing over there. Many people were dumbfounded by the scene, especially the catacombs powerhouses. They were a little dumbfounded. This was not a similar scene. Previously, in the few times when the war between the catacombs and humans broke out, there seemed to be a large number of powerhouses chasing after Fang Ping. Now, they were clearly encircling and annihilating all humans, but now more than 10 emperors were chasing after him. Not only these people, but Moon's spirit also shouted angrily, abandoned the two great sect masters, and quickly ran over there. Her husband's remains were still with Fang Ping. Now that Fang Ping had concealed his aura and ran away, she might not be able to find Fang Ping when she turned back. As for killing the two great sect masters, they could talk about it later. Moon's spirit ran away. Venerable Emperor Qing Tong smiled and also took a step back, no longer fighting with the two sect masters. He looked at Zhang Tao, then looked at Fang Ping, and finally chose Fang Ping. It was easier to take advantage of Fang Ping than Zhang Tao. After the two of them left, the three great sect masters were just about to encircle Zhang Tao when Moon's spirit appeared again. She shouted angrily, raised one hand to the sky, and rushed over, shouting, "Leave with me!" There was no other reason. Mount Wangu was still fighting with their people. Although Moon's spirit did not care about the life and death of those maidservants, these people were still useful. Moreover, she could kill her people, but these people were not qualified. How could she not take the three great sect masters away? The three great sect masters were furious, but Moon's spirit attacked them crazily, forcing them to fight with Fang Ping. The two leaders ran away. The people of Mount Wangu and the divine sect looked at each other. This time, with great tacit understanding, they all chased in that direction. At this time, among the two kings, Skyplant King also smiled faintly. Instead of watching the show here, why don't we go over there and have a look? Maybe it will be more interesting. After saying that, he waved his hand, wrapped the true gods under his command, and chased after Fang Ping. Not only them, but the Dragon Emperor also roared. Fang Ping was the person that the cat said he wanted to protect. Now that Fang Ping had left, he had to follow and have a look. Therefore, the Dragon Emperor also quickly led his opponents away. The situation that was extremely chaotic just now became clear in an instant. At this moment, except for Li Zhu, who was still standing high in the sky. The rest were Mo when fighting 6 emperors with his sword, Zhang Tao fighting 3 emperors, and the humans and the catacombs fighting. Zhang Tao seemed a little sluggish. How could this work? If he knew this would happen, he might as well let Fang Ping come alone and bring everyone to run toward the trap. Maybe he could make them all fall into the trap directly. Since when did his ability to pull monsters become so strong? Zhang Tao laughed bitterly in his heart. He also knew that it was related to his side. The catacombs and humans were fighting too fiercely, and a large number of ultimate kings had fallen. These people could not understand the situation at the moment and did not want to get involved, so they went to find Fang Ping. But no matter what, it was a fact that Fang Ping took away more than half of the powerhouses in one go. Zhang Tao was still thinking about this. In the distance, Fang Ping cursed, "Mother asterisk her, so many people. I'm only a rank 9. Do I need them?" At this moment, Fang Ping felt like his liver was going to explode. Weren't there only a few? Why were there almost 100 powerhouses, auras behind him? He could not outrun an emperor level. Forget an emperor level. Even a slightly stronger true god could not outrun them. At this moment, Fang Ping really wished he could grow a few more legs. His only advantage was that right now he could blast the void and escape through the rift. Fang Ping, who had restrained his aura, escaped into the rift. These people did not know which direction he ran to, unless he ran out of the rift. Even so, those Emperor levels were getting closer and closer, even starting to bombard him from a distance. At this moment, in the capital city catacombs, an unbelievable scene played out. A fellow in armor with two heads was strong, but he was being hunted down by hundreds of powerhouses who were stronger than him. Some of the catacombs' powerhouses had only heard of one person who had the ability to attract hatred, Fong Ping from the land of rebirth. Every time this fellow appeared in the catacombs, it was almost the same scene. You're tuning in to the Mystic Fist YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.